do a quick greetings, everyone. Peace and love, peace and love. Another installment of our powerful pioneer health and wealth empowerment segment. We give thanks. True health is wealth. True wealth is health. Yes. This month, of course, we're dealing with men empowerment, prostate wellness, health and wealth empowerment as well, family business. You know, we talk about those things as well. And Pioneer, as you see, building strong family, making sure we good, our household is good, our family is good. As we build strong families, making sure we good, our household is good, we can build better communities as we doing right here, giving thanks to all the businesses who are showing up for this platform, showing up for this powerful session, building better communities. As we strengthen up the communities that we have within our local communities, make sure you be an asset in your community. We can build greater communities outside of our inner community. So we give thanks to all the powerhouse who are part of the chambers of commerce in their community, who's part of board members and community boards. We give thanks for everyone playing a major part in their community. And as we do that, we build and we establish powerful businesses. It's more than just having a business. A business can come and go. You know, how much business stand firm for over 20 years? Matter of fact, how much business, you know, since 2019 been open now till now? So when we talk about powerful business, today you're going to be hearing this, and you're going to hear some wonderful business owners, entrepreneurs, momspreneurs, sisterspreneurs, brotherspreneurs share how to establish powerful businesses by building better communities, and it starts with you and your family. So with that being said, we have our sister Mella in the building. Sister Mella is in the building, and she's going to spark your vision with some information today, y'all. She's going to spark your vision. She's going to inspire your faith. And with that inspiration, what you're going to do? Let's mobilize communities. So without further ado, Sister Mella, the floor is yours.
All right, all right, all right. Hey, powerful pioneers. How's everybody doing today? So I have a wealth of businesses that I'm dabbling in right now. Basically, I'm going to be showing, this is a powerful thing. You mentioned community, right? And you mentioned that we got to do this thing together. So I think it's appropriate that I show the repatriation, right, thing that I'm in. I'm working with Horizon Limited. As you can see, my email there is, they kind of, they see my passion about getting this done. I mean, we have to come together as a collective. We as Black people, we as people all over the world, all over the diaspora, we have got to come together. So, and I love what Brother Rojo is doing. He is actually bringing us all together. So if someone can let me share my screen. Oh, I think I can. I will share my screen and start the first video. So what I'm going to be sharing is two videos, right? And they're introduction videos. One is introducing Ebony Villas, which is our repatriation project that is just for people of color, right? It's just for, us who have been displaced around the diaspora. Their intention is for us to have something to leave for our family, right? So as long as you're using the debit card, so the funding mechanism is a debit card. So once you use it, you're creating funds, right? You're creating the funding mechanism to get this done. So without further ado, let me play. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, you're good to go.
All right, great. Okay, so this is the Ebony Villas repatriation project, and I am on ebonyvillas.com. You guys can go to this site and see this information for yourself. It's so wonderful. So here we go.
Ebony Villas and Horizon Limited have collaborated in order to bring about the greatest and most innovative African repatriation housing project ever seen before, where each of the 1 million repatriation family homes we intend to build across Mother Africa will all be built to modern standards and will come with 4 ensuite bedrooms, private swimming pools, and most importantly, they will all be completely rent-free for life for all successful applicants. In addition, all shops, stores, and business establishments will also be rent-free for life for any residents wanting to open their own business, which will be very beneficial to those with an entrepreneurial spirit, as the constant worry of paying rent has been removed. How it works is easy. Everyone that Ebony Villas approves to receive one of our rent-free homes will automatically be sent a free Verizon prepaid debit card and will be given access to a number of Verizon services. Each approved applicant will be required to immediately start using these services and their Verizon debit card to pay their household bills or to purchase goods and services in shops and business establishments. This will serve to perpetually generate the many millions of pounds we need to first purchase the land and to cover the entire construction costs, plus the ongoing maintenance costs after.
What happened?
Completion. Everyone over 14 years old that is living in the household of the approved applicant will also be required to exclusively use our Verizon prepaid debit cards to pay for anything they would normally use a debit card to pay for. For example, doing the weekly shopping, paying household bills, buying petrol, paying a restaurant bill, booking holiday tickets, and much more. Ebony Villas' primary goal is to first build 1 million 4-bedroom rent-free homes that will be split between 5 countries across Africa. We intend for these first 5 countries to include Egypt, the Gambia, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Lesotho, with more countries being added soon. Each development will be built around a world-class sports and entertainment complex for the whole family to enjoy all year round, featuring African theme parks, splash parks, fashion stores, wine bars, nightclubs, health spas, and more. Our rent-free repatriation homes will only be available to families residing in the diaspora that wish to permanently repatriate back to Mother Africa. This strict eligibility requirement is designed to attract many people of color around the world back to the motherland to live the peaceful and secure family life that they all deserve. All residents will be allowed to either temporarily or permanently home swap with other residents living on any of our housing developments if they so wish. We have done this to ensure that everyone will have the option to explore various African countries while still living rent-free for life. In addition, once we have successfully built our first 1 million family homes and our residents have moved in, we will then begin constructing a number of 2-bedroom apartment blocks on our developments to ensure that when their children eventually leave home, they too will have somewhere to live rent-free for life that is close to their family home. Each approved applicant will be required to purchase 150 Ebony Villas shares, which will have a starting value of £3 per share, totaling £450. That's predicted to significantly increase in value to over £600 per share by the time our housing developments have been completed, within approximately 3 to 6 years. This will stand to make shareholders a total profit of £89,550, which is a very significant sum to start their new life in Mother Africa. Shareholders will all be allowed to sell their Ebony Villas shares on the Verizon Shares Exchange after they have officially moved into their new home, which we are sure will help to keep their household in good stead for many years to come. Each applicant will first have to complete our Ebony Villas application form and go through various background procedure checks for KYC and security purposes. Once they have been approved, we will immediately send them their free Verizon prepaid debit card with an approximate date of when they can move into their new home. As soon as any of our first 5 developments reaches 200,000 approved applicants, each applicant will then be required to pay £450 to purchase their Ebony Villas shares, which can be spread over 3 monthly instalments of £150. Once all applicants have fully purchased their shares or paid their first month's instalment, Ebony Villas will immediately start the procedure of purchasing the land we need and commence the planning and construction works. All residents will be required to pay Ebony Villas an annual service fee of £240 per year once they have moved into their new home, which will be used to maintain all of our housing developments and the many essential services needed. For example, road maintenance, electrical services, Wi-Fi services, hospital and GP services, security services, fire departments, refuse collection, and much more. This will ensure each housing development will be kept looking prestigious at all times for everyone to appreciate. We at Ebony Villas and Verizon Limited sincerely believe that our repatriation housing project has a very high chance of success, especially with the ongoing support from various top celebrities that we have brought on board within the music, fashion and sports industry to assist with our marketing campaign, together with all of our account holders using their Verizon debit cards as frequently as possible in shops, stores and business establishments worldwide. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for millions of people of colour living in the diaspora to repatriate back to Mother Africa in complete style and safety, whilst living rent-free for life, with Ebony Villas and Verizon supporting them every step of the journey. So sign up today and repatriate our way.
Okay, all right. Okay, everyone. So this is something that's near and dear to my heart, right? Not only will you be getting, right, 4 ensuite bedrooms, you will be also getting 450 shares, which cost $3.50 a share. So let me go here and explain you guys something. Okay, and we've added Nigeria too. So Nigeria is on the list. They've added that because there's a lot of Nigerians, right, here in the US and in UK and all that. So they also wanted to be a part of this. So how this works is when you buy shares, right, you're not actually buying the property, you're buying shares. And those shares are set to increase, right? Once they purchase the land, once they start building, those shares are going to increase. So I already have some Verizon Bank shares, and I do have these 2 properties. So as these properties start to get built, the value will raise. And this is how construction is done, right? This is how, people get rich in construction. They crowdfund, they do whatever they're doing, accepting money, selling shares and that kind of thing. Then once the project is up and running, then it's worth millions, if not billions of dollars. So this is the idea behind this. And when I researched the funding mechanism, which is their debit/crypto card, it makes sense, right? Because the debit card industry generates trillions, if not quadrillions, in fees every year. So every time we swipe our cards, right? Every time we go swipe at the gas station, grocery store, that kind of thing, it's creating fees. And so the bank and the card holders and all that kind of stuff, the card issuers, they get fees, and those fees are astronomical. So what Verizon is doing is sharing those fees, right? So it's like a crowd fund. And if you have, if you have a community like Rojo, Rojo has a community, right? So once, say Rojo says, I want to be a community inside of Verizon. So we would get you set up, right, with the Powerful Pioneers. We'll get you your own branded debit card, and then your whole community can use the debit card. And then that'll be 27% profit shared back to your community. So guys, this is just phenomenal. I'm loving what they're doing here. Can you guys hear me? Because sound like I'm talking to myself.
No, you loud and clear, Mella. We recording, so you good.
Okay, great. So yeah, like I said, you know, and businesses, right? And you won't have to repatriate, say, like, you know, for good. You can use these for rental properties. You can, you know, you don't even have to step foot in Africa if you don't want to. But I highly suggest that we do, because if you see the landscape and what's going on here in America, right? If you've got young children, I'm sure you've seen in the news where they're started the draft, right?
Yep, they just passed that new bill where as your child hit 18, that's it.
That's it. They're gonna, right. So 18 to 24 or to 26-year-olds will be automatically signed up. Now, this is not something you got to do. That birth certificate, you know, that cert that they got on us, you know, they know where everybody is. So they're going to be signing our kids up for their wars. And I don't know about you guys, but that's not something that I'm interested in, right? I have a young grandson who's growing up right now, and I think we can do this a better way, guys. Even like I said, even if you don't want to go to Africa, guess what? You buy an Ebony Villas for $576, right? That's all it costs. And if you do it now, you get double shares. So instead of the 150 shares, you get 300. So each 150 shares is worth like $90,000. Let's say within 2 years, once the development is completed, those shares are going to be worth upwards of 600. And they say 600 on the low end because they want to over deliver and under promise. So this is, and I'm proud to announce that I will be traveling with them to Ghana this year. Maybe, you know, we're looking at around August, September. We're going to go look at the purchased land for our Elixir Heights. So I'm going to share my screen and play Elixir Heights. This is our housing development for everyone, right? We didn't want to leave everybody else around the world out. So they decided to just say, you know what, we're going to do a development for everybody. So you can sell your tenancy rights here. You can keep your shares, sell your shares. The way this thing is set up is just a win-win. So let me share my screen again. And this one, guys, is Elixir Heights. Share. Can you all see my screen?
Yep, good to go.
All righty.
Verizon International has collaborated with Elixir Heights in a united mission to build thousands of luxury apartments across Africa that will be completely rent-free for life for all residents, simply by them frequently using our Verizon Visa cards in shops and stores and to pay their household bills whenever possible. Our first development will be in Ghana, with other African countries following soon afterwards. And each apartment block will be built to modern standards and will consist of 3 ensuite bedroom apartments with a private balcony, and all residents will have full access to communal entertainment areas, swimming areas, fitness gyms, shopping malls, and essential amenities. Residents can use their apartment as a permanent home, holiday home, or rental home to earn a passive income. They will also be permitted to sell their tenancy rights to other third parties or pass it on to their children or loved ones, which will give every resident peace of mind that their next generation will be secure. Each apartment block will include rent-free, collaborative office spaces, which will be an ideal environment for residents working remotely and give them the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals. All residents will be given a special VIP pass which will entitle them to discount ticket prices to attend world-class live theatre shows, sporting events, concerts and festivals in our vibrant entertainment areas. We intend for our Elixir Heights developments to be amongst the most desired places for tourists to visit whenever they're in Mother Africa, and we are sure they will all gather memories of a lifetime. Once we begin building our developments in other African countries, residents will be able to temporarily or permanently home swap with other residents if they so wish. This has been implemented to give everyone the freedom to explore more African countries while still being able to live rent-free for life. Our target is to achieve a minimum of 10,000 successful applications, which we estimate will take us approximately 6 months to 1 year to accomplish. Once this has been achieved, we will begin purchasing the land we need and commence construction works. A maximum of 2 people will be allowed on the tenancy agreement, and both must be over 21 years old. This could be a spouse, family member, or friend, and as soon as their application has been approved, each of them will be required to start using our virtual Verizon Visa card to pay for goods and services in shops, stores, and business establishments, and to pay all their household bills. This is necessary to start generating the continuous funding revenue stream that we will need to fully complete the construction works within approximately 3 to 6 years. For those applying for a single-person tenancy, they will first need to pay a non-refundable £90 admin fee to join our housing list. Then only once we have achieved our target of signing up 10,000 successful applications, each applicant will be required to purchase 240 Elixir Heights shares at a cost of £10 per share, totaling £2,400. This can be paid by 12 instalments of £200 per month and is fully refundable within 90 days if they wish to cancel within 1 year. For applicants applying for a joint tenancy, each person on the tenancy agreement will be required to pay our £90 admin fee and purchase 120 shares, which means that they will both own shares in Elixir Heights. This will immediately raise £24 million and will give us an income of approximately £600,000 per month, which will be generated from all our Verizon Visa card users on the program. This continuous revenue stream will keep on increasing as more and more people come on board, which will enable us to build more luxury apartment blocks year after year. We predict that our share price will significantly increase in value to over £500 per share by the time our development has been fully completed. This will stand to make each shareholder an estimated profit of £60,000, which they can sell on our soon-to-be-launched private Verizon shares exchange. In addition, we will be paying dividends to our shareholders each year, which will be generated from our company net profits. This will ensure that all our residents will be fully rewarded for the support they have given us for many years to come. All successful applicants will be able to join our customer referral program if they so wish and earn £45 for every successful applicant they refer to us, which will be paid to them via our Verizon X crypto exchange if available in their region, or through any other crypto wallet address of their choice if they cannot open a Verizon X account. So sign up to Elixir Heights today and start living a better way.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, guys. So yeah, so this is elixirheights.com. This is the apartment opportunity, right? And you can get both. So if you are of Black African descent, you can do an Ebony Villas and you can do one of these Elixir Heights, right? So where in the world can you get 2 properties for less than what, $3,000, right? I would say 3,500, and you have these for life. As long as you're swiping that debit card, as long as you're generating fees. And the good thing about it is, or the best thing is, you're not even paying for it. It's where you shop. It's the shops and stores that are going to be paying for wherever you live. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. And what I liken it to is like when we go to these stores, right? And people follow us around, especially, you know, as much money as we spend on hair and nails and all that stuff, you know, and they're just getting our money. How great would it be for when you go in there and swipe your card, they're the ones that are going to be paying for your house. You know, they're the ones that are going to be paying for your shops and your stores and all of that. So this is something that I'm really passionate about, because I know if we get together, we have the most funds, the Black African community all over the world. We have the most buying power. If we get together collectively, we will be unstoppable. So that's it. And I would encourage everyone, each and every one of you, to go to www.ebonyvillas.com and www.elixirheights.com and go through the website. It's pretty extensive, so I didn't really want to go over it because it can get confusing once I do. You know, I do presentations on Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for Verizon, for Ebony Villas and Elixir Heights. So I can share that with the powerful pioneers. So yeah, guys, this is something that we need in our lives right now. I think the West, we live in the West, right? I think the West is coming to a brimming halt. And so we need to move back to the East where we're from. So any questions?
Thank you for sharing, Sister Mella. Thank you so much for sharing that information. I got one question. What's the difference between Elixir Heights and Ebony Villas? Or is there any difference at all?
Yeah, so the difference is, right, let me share my screen again. The difference is that, right, Ebony Villas is the repatriation project, right, for Black Africans. Oh, you have to be, the requirement is, and there's an eligibility checker here, and the right here. So here you have to go through the eligibility checker. Now, if you're a single tenant and you don't have a spouse or somebody who wants to go in with you, then you check this one. And it's just a few questions. You click on it and it's just yes, 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 you know, that kind of stuff, or joint tenant. So this one is the one that you have to be of African descent to qualify for, right? And this one is the one where if you have a mixed race family, because you know a lot of people that come to my call, they are mixed race. It's just the person of African descent will have to be the lead applicant on the housing development, right? On the tenancy. So this is, and it's a 4-bedroom, right? It's a 4-bedroom ensuite. So it's 4 bedrooms with a private pool. It's gonna be a lockout. So it's a 2 and 2. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, 2 living rooms. So say if you're a small family and you want to rent out the other side for passive income, well, the shares are gonna get you as much money as you need, right? To buy furniture. This is why they're doing this. You buy shares in the company. And once the purchase of land and start building, those shares are gonna increase. So that you will be able to take those shares now that you purchased and go sell them on the Verizon exchange. So that'll get you, you know, buy furniture, and it'll make your stay there, you know, more successful. Because a lot of these repatriation efforts have failed, because when people go back to Africa, they can't sustain themselves, right? So they need to come back to the West to either work, make money, send it back home. This is designed so that if you won't ever want to leave if you don't have to, right? So all your needs will be taken care of. There'll be jobs available because they're going to build a whole community. You know, it's going to be schools and just everything, guys. I mean, the way they've got this planned out. And once you go and look up how much fees, Visa, debit, you know, MasterCard, all these, you know, these cards, the transaction fees, how much they generate per year, it's astonishing. And all they give you back is like what, a 5% cash back or this or that. I mean, it's just, so these wonderful people are crowdfunding the whole, you know, everything back. And what they say is that, what are we doing? What are we doing for our people? Because when Black History Month comes around, we always go back to Martin Luther, you know, Malcolm X, and, you know, Marcus Garvey. But what are we doing now? Who is stepping up to take those place? You know, our leaders' place who have gone dead and gone. So these people, Verizon, their CEO and COO, Amanda and John, they are African American. Well, they're African, but they live in Canada. I'm sorry, in the UK. So they just decided, you know what, we have a fintech corporation, we're going to do this. So we have got to get on board. So this is the difference is, I'm rattling on. Ebony Villas is for African descent. And then you have the Elixir Heights, which is the apartment, right? So this is going to be a 10,000 unit luxury high-rise apartment. And it's going to be the same concept, but this is going to be open to everybody, right? Europeans, whomever wants to come and purchase one of these apartments here, right? It's going to be 3 bedrooms built to the highest standards. And you can sell your tenancy rights if you want, or you just rent it out. How about you just rent it out? Verizon will, their travel arm will manage it for you. So almost like an Airbnb, right? So if you say you buy the shares and you're using the debit card and you don't want to go there, or you're only there half the time, well, their management company will rent it out for you. It's a 70-30 split. So the travel company will take 30% and give you 70% of whatever it's renting for. So this is the passive income right there, right? And I'm all about passive income, you know, whether it be crypto, whether it be real estate. And this is, to me, this is like a real estate opportunity that you can get into. Not only, and in addition to a repatriation type thing. And the first apartment here will be in Ghana because it's going fast. These are selling fast, and Ghana will be the first development with the apartment.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for all that information. Feel free to rattle on. You still got time. However, thank you for the difference and distinguishing the difference. Let me show my face on the screen. Thank you for expressing. I'm burning some Palo Santo. Thank you for expressing the difference and distinguishing the difference between the Ebony Villas and Elixir Heights. Elixir Heights will be apartment complex, apartments, right? 10,000
Right.
unit.
Correct.
Ebony Villas will be an actual property. It'll be a house built from the ground up, 4 bedrooms, and the list goes on. I guess later on they'll probably give you options to add whatever you want, but I think it's a whole
No. You won't be able to change anything in here, right? Every villa is going to be built to, now the checker, when you register, they ask you all kind of questions, right? Do you have anybody that needs a wheelchair? Do you have anybody that needs this? Because your villa will be built to your standards, right? So
okay, custom
yeah.
to your need. All right.
It'll be,
Awesome.
it's like a custom build, right? So it's going to be custom built for you. And the thing is that you own the tenancy rights, right? And as long as you're using the debit card, you're good, because that's what generates the fees to make it rent free for life. And as long as you're using that debit card, now you can't go and sell the property because you won't own the property. You'll own the shares of the property, which is actually more. It's actually better. So they want to keep that so that everybody's not selling off to whomever. Next thing you know, we don't own it anymore. You know, you get infiltrated and all of a sudden it's just something not what we built it for. So
Okay,
it's
good. So there is system and structure in place. There is rules and guidelines and obligations. Great. This makes so much sense. It's a win-win-win. I personally have never heard until you presented it to me. I've never heard about an opportunity like this, and I'm all for it. I'm in. So, you know, it's a win-win. So I didn't even know we can get both. So I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity of getting both, because hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my son who was walking around here, I'm like, look, we got to do something for our children. We have got to do, and I know you have a young son too, Mick. So, you know, we have got to do something, right? Wake up, everybody.
He's 13, and before you know it, he's now gonna enter the high school this coming school year, 24-25, and this fall semester. Yeah, man. And before you know it, he's an adult, and then it's like, what do we have to look forward to? I don't want him to have to worry about, oh, I don't know, we don't have a place to stay, or we got to move, or we got to pay rent, or we got to pay mortgage. And he's like, I'm like, man, listen, go to the house in Ghana, chill out there, build and create what you want to do. You're good. And not only that, that is what signifies, and that is what kind of goes hand in hand with pioneers about building stronger, they're building stronger families, establishing powerful businesses, and stronger communities. And I mean, this is amazing.
Absolutely. And all of us
Pioneers,
here,
I highly encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. You got the floor, Mella. Sorry.
yes, and sorry about that. So, and for us business people, right? Shops and stores on the checker is going to ask you, do you have a store or do you have a business that you want? And it's even going to ask you, do you need funding for that business, right? Because they're going to give you a free storefront. Because guess what? Once you put that gateway in that storefront, that Verizon gateway, when people are coming in and tapping, that's an additional 27% back to your store and your business. So they've got this set up the way where we can't lose. So I implore everybody who's out there spending their money, we spend billions of dollars on hair and nails every single year, billions. If we can just reroute a little bit of that money, right? Say it's 1% that we do this, we could get this done. They're going to have, organic trees everywhere. We can build our own schools. We can teach our kids our own history and not this fake history that they're being exposed to, right? So this thing, guys, yeah, it's a huge endeavor, but we got to dream big, right? So this is it. This is it.
We give thanks, sis. We give thanks. Make sure and put your information in the chat room, sis. Make sure to put the social media, website, all that good stuff. And if anyone have any questions for our sister, feel free to engage in the chat room. Yes, we have a wonderful, wonderful lineup of representatives who are going to be sharing today. And we give thanks for Sister Mella setting the tone. Our health is our wealth. When we talk about health and wealth, definitely the motherland got those resources. So we give thanks for her being a brand representative and sharing this wonderful resource to the community. Tap into it real time. Tap in real time. Because I know she already busy. She about to get more busy in a bit. So, we give thanks for your time, Sister Mella. If you have a little time to stick around with us, feel free. And I want to go straight into our next presentation. We have our sister Aiyahna, definitely got some wonderful, powerful information to share about quantum healing and also some information about the whole psychedelics community. So, Sister Aiyahna, greetings.
Greetings. Remember, I'm not doing the presentation on psychedelics, but maybe if I have time, I could do it because it is prepared. But I'm doing the presentation on quantum healing.
Well, the floor is yours, sis. I wanted you to share both if you have time, but if not, it's on you.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. So you just want me to bring up the presentation? How do I share the screen?
The screen is open for you to share. Just go to share screen. Feel free to introduce yourself and whatnot, and then you could go into your presentation.
Okay. I'm sorry, new to all this. Where do you go to share the screen?
So if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see mute, stop video, wherever your toolbar is. And you'll see participants, chat, reactions. Then you'll see an upward arrow that says share. Hit that button. It should be next to reactions. Do you see a share button?
No. So at my bottom is just mute, stop video. Okay, I see it now, right? All the way over there. Okay, I see it.
And when you hit share, then you hit screen. Whatever the drop down or pop-up menu comes up, there we go. You got it. You got it. Stemming all the way from Jamaica. You got the floor.
Okay, so now I need to minimize this screen. How do I minimize this? Okay, put this over.
Are you on a desktop, laptop, tablet, or
laptop? I'm trying to shift the whoever is on the chat, it's on my screen and I'm trying to see where I can make it smaller. Okay. All right, I think I got it.
You got it?
Actually,
Okay.
yeah, I minimized it. Okay, got it.
You got a good amount of time. So don't worry, just take your time. You got
Right.
enough time.
It's my first time, so I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like I'm in school again.
It's all right. It's all right. You listen, you got this. You got this.
So, all right, here we go. So,
Good time.
this presentation is on quantum healing, energy healing. My name is Aiyahna. My background is nursing. I have a master's in nursing, and since 2020, I have been experimenting, learning about energy healing and the use of psychedelics for healing. So this presentation is on what you call quantum healing. Okay, so what is quantum healing? So quantum healing is a form of spiritual healing that uses energy, intention, and quantum physics to heal the body, the mind, and the spirit. It is based on the idea that everything in the physical world has its own energy and frequency, and this energy and frequency influences our thoughts and our emotions. Quantum healers uses a variety of techniques such as meditation, breathing, body awareness to focus and to amplify the life force energy and to direct it to a certain area that may need healing. Quantum healing is not a faith-based or a conventional form of healing, but rather an holistic and experiential one that requires openness and the willingness to change. Quantum healing combines principles from quantum mechanics, energy medicine, and mind-body connection. It is based on the belief that the body can heal itself by accessing and aligning with the underlying energy fields that govern our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. You will often hear of quantum healing practitioners talk about using your own body's life force to heal you from within. And this life force is similar to the Chinese idea of qi or the Indian idea of prana.
Pause
And
right
please,
there for a second, Fizz. I'm sorry.
okay.
Pause right there for a second.
Let's go back. Okay. And let me know when I restart.
You're good. You're good to go. You're good to go.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Quantum healing first gained major notice in 1989, and that's the year the spiritual guru Deepak Chopra published Quantum Healing, Exploring the Frontiers of Mind-Body Medicine. Chopra wrote the book exploring ancient healing tradition in his home country of India. He combined his knowledge with what he knew about Western medicine, physics, and neuroscience to show how people can harness the energy of their own body to heal themselves from within. Some key principles of quantum healing is a connection between energy and matter. And what that means is that quantum healing recognizes the fundamental interconnectedness of energy and matter. It acknowledges that everything in the universe, including our bodies, is made up of energy vibrating at different frequencies. Quantum healing is a non-locality. Quantum healing suggests that energy fields are not bound by space and time, but rather operate beyond the physical realm. And this principle aligns with the concept of remote healing or distant healing, where healing intentions can be transmitted across distance. It's observable effects of consciousness. Quantum healing emphasizes the role of consciousness in healing. our thoughts, our beliefs, and emotion influence the energetic patterns in our bodies, ultimately impacting our health and our well-being. Quantum entanglement. Quantum healing recognizes the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles become interconnected regardless of distance. And this principle suggests that healing intentions can influence not only the individual, but also their environment and their relationships. Energy healing. This is a quantum healing technique. Energy healing is a core component of quantum healing practices. It involves accessing and manipulating the subtle energy fields within and around the body to restore balance and harmony. Techniques such as Reiki, acupuncture, and Qigong utilize the principle of energy flow and aim to remove energetic blockages that may contribute to physical, emotional, or spiritual imbalances. Meditation and visualization, which is another technique of quantum healing. Meditation and visualization techniques are integral to quantum healing. By quieting the mind and focusing on positive intentions, individual can tap into their inner healing potential. Visualization practices involve creating vivid mental images of desired outcomes, which enhances the mind's ability to influence the body's healing processes. Sound and vibrational healing. Sound vibrational healing utilize the power of sound frequencies to promote healing and well-being. The principle behind this technique is that every cell and organ in our body has a specific resonant frequency. And by exposing the body to specific sound and frequencies, practitioners aim to restore harmony and balance, leading to healing on the physical, emotional, and spiritual level. Oh, so now I'm going to go into, these are two forms of quantum healing, which is called quantum healing hypnosis therapy and beyond quantum healing. I'm just going to highlight the difference between the two. All right, so quantum healing hypnosis technique was developed by Dolores Cannon, who is a hypnotherapist and author in the 1970s. QHHT is a method of connecting clients with their higher self, which is taught by Dolores Cannon. QHHT is a holistic healing therapy that uses hypnosis to help people access a part of themselves that holds all the answers. This part is often referred to as the higher self, oversoul, or the superconscious. During a QHHT session, the client is guided into a deep trance-like state where they can access their subconscious mind and explore past lives, gain insights into their current life, and receive guidance from their higher self. This process uses hypnosis to visit the most appropriate time in your past that has an impact on this current life that you're having. And this might be part of your past in this lifetime, but often people see past lives from other lives. QHHT session is only done in person. Okay, so beyond quantum healing, and this is the area that I am trained in, is for doing beyond quantum healing. After Dolores Cannon passing in 2014, one of her students expanded on Cannon's work by creating Beyond Quantum Healing. BQH is a heart-based approach that transcends traditional past life regression and hypnosis procedures. It emphasizes a creative and energetic methodology to assist clients in their self-healing journey. Sessions begin with energy alignment and intention decrees, guiding the client into a relaxed state to explore their consciousness. The approach is not confined to a set script or order, allowing practitioners to incorporate various healing modalities like Reiki, sound healing, or medical mediumship, as long as the client's health, safety, and well-being are prioritized. BQH session can be done via online, long distance, or in person. All right, the core principles of Beyond Quantum Healing. It's heart-centered, so BQH is rooted in heart-based practices, focusing on genuine connection over rigid processes. It's very adaptable, recognizing the unique nature of every individual. BQH is open-minded, open-ended, and highly flexible. It's as modern relevance. BQH acknowledges the rapid evolution of human consciousness and adapts to the changing needs of today's individual. It's also holistic based. So BQH session address a wide range of concerns, be they physical, emotional, or spiritual, offering profound transformative potentials. Founders insight on BQH. So Candice Craw-Goldman is the founder of BQH. She emphasizes the importance of connection over process. She believes that a practitioner should not be constrained by a rigid procedure and should have the freedom to use all available tools and skills. BQH is described as a quantum healing without limitation. So for example, if you are someone who's trained to do quantum healing and you know how to do light language, you could also incorporate your light language as a healing during a BQH session. All right, quantum healing hypnosis versus hypnotherapy. So traditionally, hypnosis is known by many as a form of psychotherapy that changes unwanted habits through cognitive function of suggestion. While both quantum healing hypnosis technique and Beyond Quantum Healing utilizes elements of hypnosis to explore consciousness, neither is hypnotherapy in the clinical sense. Quantum healing hypnosis differs from hypnotherapy in that both modalities focus on connecting clients with higher realms with the intent of healing beyond the limitation of logic and fostering clarity. So benefits of quantum healing. So physical healing. Quantum healing has been associated with various physical healing benefits. It is believed to accelerate the body's natural healing processes, promote pain reduction, improve immune function, and support overall physical well-being by addressing the energetic imbalances underlying physical ailments. Quantum healing approaches can complement and enhance conventional medical treatments. It's emotional and mental healing. Quantum healing also addresses emotional and mental well-being by working with the mind-body connection and energy fields. So practitioners aim to release emotional blockages, reduce stress, and promote emotional resilience. Quantum healing techniques can provide individuals with tools to manage anxiety, depression, and other emotional challenges, leading to improved mental and emotional health. It also provides spiritual healing. Quantum healing encompasses spiritual aspect of healing as well. It offers a framework to explore one's spiritual journey, connect with higher consciousness, and deepen spiritual understanding. By aligning the universal energy fields, individual can experience in spiritual growth, a sense of purpose, and connection to something greater than themselves. Quantum healing in mainstream medicine. So quantum healing concepts are gradually gaining recognition in mainstream medicine. Some medical professionals incorporate aspects of quantum healing into their practice, recognizing the influence of body-mind connection and energy fields on health outcomes. However, further integration and acceptance of quantum healing within mainstream medicine require more substantial empirical evidence and widespread use. Training and certification. Now, personally, I do not train for quantum healing or QHHT. Training and certification for quantum healing practitioners vary. Some programs offer comprehensive training that covers energy healing techniques, meditation practices, and theoretical framework of quantum healing. Others may focus on specific modalities or offer shorter courses for those seeking to incorporate quantum healing into their existing practice. As quantum healing gains recognition and acceptance, the development of standardized training and certification programs may become more prevalent. There are training on QHHT by Dolores Cannon. Her daughter still has that. There's a program that you can do for QHHT. And Candace Goldman also have a training program for Beyond Quantum Healing that you could also do online. Okay, ethical considerations. Ethics play a vital role in quantum healing practices. Practitioners must prioritize the well-being and autonomy of their clients and ensure informed consent. They should also maintain appropriate boundaries, professionalism, and ongoing self-reflection to ensure they are providing highest level of care. Additionally, ethical consideration extend to the appropriate use of quantum healing techniques and respecting the limitations and scopes of their practice. Right, is quantum healing right for you? So quantum healing is safe. It's non-invasive technique that can be used to promote healing and restore balance to the body. If you're experiencing physical or emotional health problems, quantum healing may be a good option for you. Something that I didn't include here is that when you do a quantum healing session, there is nothing that's off limit. You could come with any question ranging from health question to financial question to what is my path, where should I go question, anything at all. You could pretty much come with any question or any area in your life that you're having a difficulty with can be addressed using quantum healing. So, all right. So it is important to know that quantum healing is not a substitute for traditional medical treatment, and you should always consult with your doctor before beginning any new health regimen. Oh, it's pretty short. So these are some websites. If you're interested in learning more about quantum healing, there is a quantumhealers.com, which is beyond quantum healing. And then there is a quantum healing hypnosis technique official training website. Also, you go and learn more about quantum healing and about Dolores Cannon. And I also have my website right here, which is quantumhealingrooms.com, where you go and visit and learn more about Beyond Quantum Healing and learn more about the heart-based connection and the techniques that I personally use, that I incorporated when I do my own quantum healing sessions. And any questions? And that would be it.
Sis, please share your information in the chat. Post all your websites, all your information that you just explained, that you just shared with us, with the websites and whatnot. Please put all your handles in the chat, okay? And you can continue.
Okay, so should I go ahead and do the psychedelics one as well, or?
If you completed this quantum healing session, this portion, sure, you can feel free to share the next portion.
All right, so you could take, okay, I see it up top. I'm gonna find. Well, you have to. Give me a second. Let me find the one for that.
Take your time, beloved. The floor is yours.
In the meantime, pause the recording for a second. And then we read.
Okay, so this presentation is on psilocybin. And my credential is there. Okay, so some background. So classic psychedelics are structurally a diverse group of compounds that binds at 5-HT2A serotonin receptors and produce a unique profile of changes in thoughts, perception, and emotions, often experienced as very deeply meaningful. So examples that includes tryptamines. So psilocybin is a form of tryptamine, and it's one example of tryptamines, which is also DMT, LSD, and phenethylamines, which is mescaline and DOM and MDA, sorry. Psilocybin is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound produced by more than 200 species of fungi. The most potent are members of the genus psilocybin, such as, I'm really not going to try to pronounce these names, but they're right there.
It is. Are you doing a PowerPoint presentation, or are you just sharing?
No, this is a PowerPoint presentation.
Yes. So you need to share your screen because we don't see.
My screen is not being shared? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was still sharing. Okay, let me, 1 second.
Yes. And greetings for everyone who just joined. Feel free to, if anyone have any question, you can feel free to put in the chat room. Our sister will be able to answer any questions in the chat room. In the meantime, she just completed her first presentation on quantum wellness. Wellness, definitely. She shared some powerful information, and now she's going into a part 2 presentation. So if anyone have any question, feel free to put in the chat room. The floor is yours.
I'm sorry. So I'm going to start over from the second slide, okay? I didn't know that my screen wasn't being shared. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so this is the background. So the classic psychedelics are structurally a diverse group of compounds that binds at 5-HT2A. I'm going to try to break that down much more simple. So basically, it's like a serotonin receptor. So when you take like a medication, like for depression, like antidepressant, how the medication works is by binding to the serotonin receptors right here, the 5-HT2A. And basically this is where psilocybin also binds. And psilocybin is a tryptamine. So other examples of tryptamines are DMT, LSD, and phenylamine, which is like mescaline, and mescaline comes from peyote, like if you're taking peyote, basically, that's where you get that from. DMT comes from ayahuasca. These are the natural ones, the psilocybin, the DMT, and mescaline. Psilocybin is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound produced by more than 200 species of fungi. The most potent are the members of the genus Psilocybin, and these are the members right here that I'm not going to try to pronounce, as I said before. Psilocybin has also been isolated from a dozen other genera. Psilocybin is itself biologically inactive, but is quickly converted by the body to psilocin through the liver. And these are just some artworks of people that have taken psychedelics. And these are their artworks. So you would see some of their artwork throughout the presentation. All right. Effects of psilocybin. In general, the effects include euphoria, visual and mental hallucination, changes in perception, distorted sense of time, and perceived spiritual experiences. It can also cause reactions such as nausea and panic attacks. And not everyone will get nausea, it's just a possibility, and not everyone will get a panic attack. The panic attack is mostly based on the individual, like their belief system and any fears that they have. So you may get a panic attack experience if you're not in a, if you feel like you're not in a safe space or a safe environment, or the surrounding that when you're on the psychedelics, the surrounding that you're in. But you may experience some slight anxiety when it first starts to kick in. And I'm speaking from my experience with the fungi. The intensity and duration of the effects of psilocybin are varies, depend on the species and also how it's cultivated, the cultivation of the mushrooms, the dosage, the individual physiology, and set and setting. Set and setting is basically where you are when you take the medicine, the setting that you're in. Is it a safe space? Is the energy good? That's what set and setting is. So the set and setting was shown in experiments led by Timothy Leary at Harvard University in the early 1960s. Okay. So psilocybin is can cause mind-altering effects, typically lasting from 6 to 8 hours. There are some, depending on the dosage. So if you're taking maybe like a 2.3, 3.5, 4-gram dose, the effects could be 6 to 8 hours. If you're taking like a microdose, like 0.02 grams or 0.05 grams, it will be shorter and it will be like just a milder experience. And those dosage are mostly used for people who are like microdosing for like use of anxiety and depression. So although to individual under the influence of psilocybin, the effects may seem to last much longer since the drug can distort the perception of time. So after ingesting psilocybin, the user may experience a wide range of emotional effects, which can include feelings of disorientation, lethargy, giddiness, euphoria, joy, and depression. So in one study that was done, 31% of volunteers given a high dose report feelings of significant fear, and 17% experience transient paranoia. And again, not everyone will experience that. It's really based on the past experience of the individual, what that individual have experienced throughout their life. If that individual have a lot of fears, if you're a highly religious person, you may have that. And again, if you are suffering from other mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia or something like that, you may want to be careful when you're taking these substances. In studies at Johns Hopkins, among those given a moderate dose, but still enough to give a high probability of a profound and beneficial experience, negative experiences were rare, whereas 1/3 of those given a high dose experience anxiety or paranoia. And based on my experience with high doses, the higher the doses you are, the less control you are of the experience, the less of the ego is there. It's more like the higher self within you is like taking over. So you could get really paranoid because you cannot control what you're experiencing at the moment. And that's how you may end up getting anxiety. So low doses can induce hallucinatory effects. Closed eye hallucination may occur where the affected individual sees multicolored geometric shapes and vivid imaginative sequences. Some individuals report synesthesia, such as tactile sensations when viewing colors, At high doses, psilocybin can lead to intensification of effective responses, enhanced ability for introspection, regression to primitive and childlike thinking, and activation of vivid memories, traces with profound emotional undertones. Now, I know all of this sounds like, oh my God, it may be a little bit scary, but from my experience, these entities, fungi, and I call them entities, they're very intelligent and they do not show you anything or give you an experience that you're not ready for. So whatever you experience is what you're ready for, and that's what they will show you. And a lot of your experience on these psychedelics also is guided by your higher self, that subconscious mind. Okay. Open eye visual hallucination are common and may be very detailed, although rarely confused with reality. Users having a pleasant experience can feel a sense of connection to others, nature, the universe. Other perceptions and emotions are also often intensified. Users having an unpleasant experience, what they term a bad trip, but I always say no trip is a bad trip. Everything is a lesson. So a bad trip is described as a reaction accompanied by fear, other unpleasant feelings, and occasionally by dangerous behaviors. In general, the phrase bad trip is used to describe a reaction that is characterized primarily by fear or other unpleasant emotion, not just transitory experience of such feelings. But nothing, to me, nothing is an unpleasant emotion. These are emotions that we have suppressed, and what the medicine is doing is bringing up those emotions. What you may term the dark night of the soul, is bringing up those emotions or those fear for you to face it and to release it. That is what they're speaking of right here. So a variety of factors may contribute to psilocybin use experiencing a bad trip, included tripping during an emotional or physically low or in a non-supportive environment. And when they're saying tripping during an emotional or physical low, it's like if you're feeling really, really sad and you're having a lot of heavy energies, yeah, your trip may be a little bit dark because you're releasing all that heaviness that you're feeling. So it is recommended to do the medicine when you are in a, a happy, a high vibrational state. But personally, I have taken these medicines where I feel I need to release something heavy, and I have done the medicine anyway. And the only thing that happened is just you release whatever you're feeling at that moment. So ingesting psilocybin in combination with other drugs, including alcohol, can also increase the likelihood of a bad trip. All right, more trippy pictures. All right, usage of psilocybin. Psilocybin mushrooms have been and continue to be used in indigenous New World cultures in religious, divinatory or spiritual contexts. Reflecting the meaning of the word entheogen, the God within, entheogen, the mushrooms are revered as powerful spiritual sacraments that provide access to sacred worlds. Typically used in small groups, community settings, they enhance group cohesion and reaffirm traditional values. So my experience of taking not really psilocybin, but ayahuasca, a psychedelic, in a group setting, what they mean by that, by enhancing a group cohesion, is that within a group, if you take this medicine, and mushroom does do that too, you will be able to start experiencing what the other person within the group is experiencing, what they're feeling. Is like your consciousness become one consciousness, and everyone start to experience and feel the same thing at the same time. That's what they're talking about here by enhancing group cohesions. Okay. Terence McKenna documented the worldwide practice of psilocybin mushroom usage as part of a cultural ethos relating to the earth and mysteries of nature, and suggests that mushroom enhances self-awareness and a sense of contact with transcendent others, reflecting a deeper understanding of our connectedness with nature. And I think what he's really saying here is that when you start to use these plants and these fungi, they help you to connect with the energy around you, with the plants, with the earth, with everything basically within existence, because everything is interconnected to energy, all is one. So when you ingest these substances, it helps you to connect to on different realms that you cannot see with your two eyes, basically. Okay, psychedelics can induce states of consciousness that have lasting personal meaning and spiritual significance in individuals who are religious or spiritually inclined. These states are called mystical experiences. Some scholars have proposed that many of the qualities of a drug-induced mystical experience are indistinguishable from mystical experiences achieved through non-drug techniques, such as meditation or allotropic breath work. So abuse and risk of psilocybin. Psilocybin is classified as a Schedule I compound under the Controlled Substance Act within the United States. Psilocybin and other classic psychedelics do not cause addiction because they do not produce compulsive drug-seeking behaviors. Medical emergencies from use of psilocybin are rare. It's 0.002% of drug-related emergencies. And it's probably, I'm going to say this is probably related to the paranoia, why people seek medical help, related to the fear and the paranoia that could come along with using these medicines. This is why you don't do them by yourself, but you do them with someone who could hold space for you. All right, psychedelics. Yeah. Okay, with psychedelics, if you are fortunate and breakthrough, you understand what it is truly of value in life. I'm reading some quotes now I'm reading some quotes from some people who have used psychedelics. So with psychedelics, if you are fortunate to break through, you understand what is truly of value in life. Material power, dominance, and territory have no value. People wouldn't fight wars, and the whole system we have currently would fall apart. People will become peaceful, loving citizens, not robots marching around in the dark with all their lights off. And this is from Gary Fisher, PhD. Here's some other quotes. What if through responsible exploration with psychedelics, we free our minds? Free thinkers are more difficult to manipulate and control, which begs the question, why are psychedelics illegal? Through all of history, mankind has ingested psychedelic substances. Those substances exist to put you in touch with spirit beyond yourself, with the creator, and with the creative impulse of the planet. There is a wealth of information built into us, tucked away in the genetic material in every one of our cells. Without some means of access, there is no way even to begin to guess at the extent and quality of what is there. The psychedelic drugs allow exploration of this interior world and insights into its nature. Every tree, every plant has a spirit. That's the interconnectedness he's speaking of there. We all have a spirit, included everything around us. People may say that the planet has no mind. I tell them that the planet is alive and conscious. A plant may not talk, but there is a spirit in it that is conscious, that sees everything, which is in the soul of the plant, its essence, what makes it alive. Okay, and these are some references if anyone wants to do their own research on some psychedelics. And that concludes the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Good to go. Good to go for the show.
All right, give thanks. Let's say, blessed love, peace, love, and light, family. Hope all is well. Can you, let me see, I need to share my screen. So let's do share screen. There we go. Let me know if you can see what's on my screen now.
Yes, everything is good, looking
There we
great.
go. Can you see everything?
Looking great.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. All right, just want to make sure we're good to go. All right, we're good. Welcome, welcome everyone. Peace, love, and light family. This is Brother Ja's son, coming in loud and clear to the multiverse, as we say, inside and out. I will be starting off doing a presentation on holistic health, just to give you an idea, a background of who I am, why me, why the solutions I bring, what makes me, as we say, capable of fulfilling the mission, and why people should even listen to what I have to say. So I'll start off with some background information. I'm a minister of health and wellness. We start out by reaching out to those who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So then Aiyahna son, Minister of Wellness and Culture, Environment. I do my holistic education through our nonprofit, or not just for the profit, as we say, Third Eye Visions Unlimited. We have a website, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. We'll be addressing some services and products there later. But I'm here to help you experience the unlimited you. We deal with the third eye. We want to help you open up your third eye. That's a gift that I came in through with from birth. And we want to help people do that so they can experience the unlimited you. You're going to see the unlimited visions of yourself. I'm also known as a phonetic spirit. So tonight you'll get a taste of that. Brief bio. I was born in the island they call Jamaica, or where the Jamaica company does business. I was raised there by in a natural environment by powerful womb men and men. I knew from birth I was here from the stars. I would joke around and say I'm an alien passing through. Earth is just one of my many stops along the way. And I'm on an earthly mission to uplift all humanity. First, start with myself. Anything that I can master within myself, I can educate another and pass it forward and so forth. I grew up between the city they call Montego Bay and up in the hills of Westmoreland. That's right. That's the western side of what they call Moreland. And I also used to live in Toronto, New York, Brooklyn, as well as parts of the Bronx. My mom is actually currently in the Bronx right now. I got family all over the 5 boroughs, all the way over to New Jersey. And I learned to master the air, water, earth, fire, sharpen my mental, or they call metal. And I also cleared my path ahead. I naturally excelled in music, math, agriculture, athletics, arts and science, and I utilize these to overcome challenges and to edutain. So I took the word entertain and education, and I combined them many years ago. So I talk about I'm an edutainer. I stand at your service now as what they would call vegan or eating natural for 21 plus years. I got life degrees as a father, a mid-husband that I delivered my own daughter at home in my arms in our bed. She just turned 7 back in May last month. And I also have a third daughter that's going to be 13, neither of which has been vaccinated with any kind of vaccine. So that's very important for you to understand. We'll be going into touching into that later on in how we express our law, our divine law on earth. I'm also a Reiki master, Reiki level 3 practitioner. I'm an aerospace engineer. Yes, I used to call it aeronautical. So we design everything that moves from space, in the atmosphere, on land, and under the ocean. Did that through the school in Daytona Beach called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I also have a minor in mathematics, and I just celebrated my eclipse year this year on the 28th of April. Was 28 years ago that I walked across the stage with those degrees. So 28 on the 28th. And here I am doing a presentation today on another 28. With my life coach, I help you transition from sickness to health. I help you to get rid of your diet and replace it with a living. We don't want to eat to die, we want to eat to live. Okay, I'm a herbalist, some people may call that, or alchemist. I'm a Blue Dragon Qigong instructor. My sensei is Dr. George Xavier Love out of Boca, licensed acupuncturist and a lineage holder of a unique 14 movement science called Blue Dragon Immortal Qigong, passed on for over 400 years from family in China. He's the lineage holder right now. And he learned that after 6 years living in Chinatown in New York with his master Li Wan, who taught him that. And then he taught it to me. And I used it to heal my body in 2008 from a massive sciatic nerve pinch when I was in West Palm Beach, doing some work for Sikorsky, Pratt & Whitney down there. And I'm an activist for the environment, for health and wellness. Always stood up for the environment and for health for our people all over the world. I'm an environmentalist. We grew up naturally in the hills of Westmoreland. My family lived on the land, 5th generation farmers. I lived for 7 years, no electricity, no running water, cleanest latrine in town, swimming naked in the river. Did you hear what I just said? I was swimming naked in the rivers up until I was 14. Washing your clothes in the river, growing all your own food, raising all your own animals, culturing your own crops, drinking rainwater, dancing outside in the rain. Natural living, okay? So that's a crucial part of my foundation, living that from 7 to 14. And this is before I landed in New York in January 9th, 1987. So I'm also experiencing people about the metaphysician. As a third eye visiting on Unlimited, as a phonetic spirit, I see things differently in movies. And maps speak to me, signs and symbols. So I was able to decipher a lot of the metaphysics and tapping into that Akashic record within, as well as one around the planet, and so much more. So that's just a brief introduction of some of the things I've done and what I'm doing to uplift fallen humanity, to help people get out of disease and get into health and wellness. Of the 21 years that I've been quote unquote plant-based or eating natural, 2.5 of that was 100% raw. Right now about 80-20, 80 raw, 20 some cooked here and there. Some days I'm raw, some weeks I'm raw. So it depends on what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with, and what I'm working through. But the more raw, the better. And my disclaimer, the information presented is intended not to cure any dis-ease or substitute for any medical or legal advice. This is for edutainment purpose only. Okay, we operate from Love On Productions and Love On Media. We're thankful to be here working and being able to provide this and work with these powerful healers in this space to share this information, okay? So I will go into my why. Always have a why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's your purpose? What's your mission? What's driving you? Like they say, what are you eating versus what's eating you? Make sure you're eating healthy, eating wealthy, and wise. These are my 2 daughters here. I'm on the left-hand side. You see this picture. I love this picture. It's a couple of years ago, but it's kind of had a divine alignment. The way we would even plan it. We just took the picture in a park. We were in Orlando, and we just happened to line up in perfect height, and I loved it. So I just kept it. But these are two of the women in my life that's precious to me, my 2 daughters. And why do I want the best for them? Why do I want to even drink the best water, deal with elements of earth and fire? This is my mom down here on the right. This is my God on earth. This is my divine feminine that brought me from the other dimension. So I big her up every time. Mommy everywhere, every time. I want the best for my family, and I want a better future for what? Financial freedom. Why? So we can determine our own destiny, fulfill what we need to do, fund our own projects, help heal the world, and not have to ask anybody permission, right? And a better future for everyone. So this is part of the reason why I do what I do. I came across a technology back in 2002, 2004, when searching for water solutions. And I started adding that to my ministry. which I had started on the streets of Brooklyn. So before I go into this, let's go to the fact that after the first 6 months in New York, from January till about June of '87, I went to all the different boroughs and I realized people were sick because they weren't connected to nature. I was coming straight from the hills of Westmoreland, living off the so-called grid. No electricity, no indoor plumbing. Everything natural. Food grown natural, drinking rainwater, bathing outside under the moonlight in the morning or the wash pan in the evening, swimming in the rivers, eating everything that we grew on our own land. Then I land in New York City in the concrete jungle. And I'm sitting there going, why these people don't have fresh food in the neighborhood? Well, why is everything in boxes and bags and pans? And I'm talking to people, and most people don't have no clue of a farm life. Some may have grown up that way, but by the time I met them, they had long put that behind them. So they were living in this quote unquote matrix, this concrete jungle. So after studying the different areas, my mom would send me to do chores for her and errands, to pay bills and do different things all over the place. So I got to go to Bronx and Queens, and you know, I lived off of Nostrand and Sterling Street. For those who are listening, Nostrand and Sterling Street, that corner right there, a couple blocks down from Medgar Evers, a block down from Empire Boulevard. I'm just up down the street from the roller skating rink, where Little Vicious and Dougie Fresh made his name, bebopping. Okay, at the corner of my block is a Caribbean bakery and restaurant, a little bakery there, and a record shop. A couple blocks down from me on Nostrand is Allen's Bakery, just to put you in perspective. So this is Sterling Street, not Sterling Place, Sterling Street and Nostrand Avenue. That was my corner, 308 Sterling. That's where I went, landed, is where my mom lived. And this is from there, I would end up going to Wingate High School. I'd walk down to Wingate. All right, so I took the ministry in June of '87 to the streets, to the handball courts, the basketball courts, to Wingate Park, to Prospect Park, to Flatbush and Church and all the junction down there, to everywhere, right? To Empire Boulevard, where they have the Labor Day parade. That's just a couple blocks up the street from me, right? So, to East End Parkway, where the Labor Day parade is. That's a couple blocks up above Medgar Evers. Medgar Evers College is just up the street from me on Nostrand. So that's the area that I started the ministry actively in these United States. I was already doing it in the islands, already doing it in Toronto, where I lived when I was 5, in Canada. And every summer from '87, '88, '89, '90, '91, I would go spend time with my dad, who had a shop, off Eglinton Avenue in Dufferin, in Toronto. So I'd work in my dad's store. I'd be over there for Caravana, and I would have the ministry going on over there in Toronto, in Pickering, in Ajax, all right, in all of those areas in Toronto. So Scarsborough and every area in Toronto. So the ministry was taken to the streets to educate on health and wellness, environmental principles, why you should live in tune with nature, why you should be walking barefoot, grounded, that why you should want to recycle and use natural products, get away from chemicals. That's how it started. Eat fresh fruits, things connected to the land with seeds. Back then, I didn't envision a day when they would try to take all the seeds out of the food. Because everything had seeds in '87. Everything still had '87. I was just saying, eat the seeds, understand how to use the seeds. Don't throw away the avocado pit or the avocado seed. You can break that up and use it to make tea, different things. Most people didn't know how to use seeds or seed therapy. I was educating them on that. I recognized that the water was very, very bad tasting in a lot of these places that didn't have good water, or the pipes were old, a lot of rust. Some of these old buildings, brownstone buildings, had poor plumbing. So even if they had real good water coming from upstate New York, by the time it came to your faucet, it was not good water. So I started doing research on water, because we had a natural spring in the hills of Westmoreland. I know what it's like growing up drinking spring water, straight from a spring on your own land. Water so sweet, you gotta have like 2 or 3 glasses. One glass is, you have a glass, you gotta have another. And so I started doing research on water, on health, on vaccines, and all these things that I was seeing in New York City, and also on the deserts of food. Most of the people in the neighborhood that sold food didn't look like us. They had a lot of Korean stores and Chinese and some Indians and different kind of people with shops. Very few Caribbean-owned places, in Crown Heights, which had a lot of Caribbean folks, to get fresh mangoes and fresh jackfruit and sugar cane and all the things that I wanted, that I was used to. I noticed we didn't own a lot of the stores that sold any of that. Okay, I remember them doing a survey in the school system in New York, where the students thought that strawberry milk came from a strawberry cow. They thought chocolate milk came from a chocolate cow. So the survey was so bad that the Board of Education of New York State created a summer camp program to bus children, the boys and girls out of the city to farms in upstate. The next summer, they started a summer program because they realized most people grew up in like a 10-city block, and that's all they knew. They never left that 10-city block. In some cases, they were scared to go to the next neighborhood for games or whatever else. So they've never seen a tree grow from scratch. They've never been on a farm. They've never actually seen any kind of real animals. They only grew up seeing animals on cartoons and TV. So they started this program to bust the youth up, summer program, summer camp, take them to farms upstate New York and places out on Long Island and different places to introduce them to the actual farms and to introduce them to animals where they could see a pony and a donkey and a cow and goats and things of that sort. They could apple trees and pear trees and different kind of fruits being grown on the actual land. And so when I eventually left New York in 91 to come to Florida, was college in Daytona Beach, and started educating people there on health and wellness. Started fitness, almost a fitness training program. I would take people to the gym. I ran track for Wingate. I was a track and field athlete for Wingate, 4x1, 4x200 and 200. I was also in the bodybuilding club at Wingate. Always been into athletics from Jamaica, from Herbert Marson and all the schools I've been to. So athletics and fitness has always been all part of my life growing up to this day. So when I got into school, I started educating people on the college campuses about what they were eating, the food they were serving. It got so bad that the students at the Caribbean Association, a lot of my own friends and roommates, they would have me cook for them. They used to call me Pops. That was like one of my names in college, because I would cut everyone's hair. I was a barber from Brooklyn, cut my own hair and others, and then I would also cook. So the food, the cafeteria food would make them sick. And they would then I would ask everybody for like $2-3 back then, and I would be able to cook enough food to serve all of them, 2 or 3 meals. So this is another way that I would start educating people and physically serving the people, being in service, showing them the healthier ways to eat. Even though they were eating animal flesh, I would always make sure they had lots of salad and lots of fruits and always blending juices and everything. Always had the blender going. So that would then lead me to move to Orlando in 96 when Lockheed came asking for me to come. We'll do some work for them, Lockheed Martin in Orlando. And that's how I ended up in Orlando, educating people on health and wellness again from 92 to this day. I have people that I know here 33, 34 years. It's going to be 34 years as all this memorial just passed was 32 years since 92. And I started educating them on the Kangen machine. So you'll see some pictures here on this Japanese device that I became a distributor of in 2008 about why you need to have the best water in your home, why you need to have water similar to the Blue Zone. This is H3O, water that's electrically charged and has extra potency to pull heavy metals out of your system. It's microclustered. It's going to go straight into the cells to give you proper hydration at a cellular level. I started showing it was a Japanese technology. Why Japanese? Because Japan has undergone 2 nuclear weapons dropped on them. Most countries have never had to come back from that. So they had to figure out ways of getting massive amounts of radiation out of their people and then put themselves back on a positive track. Today, they have one of the longest living population called centurions on planet Earth. Healthy 100-plus-year-old people doing Tai Chi in the park and bicycling and playing chess and all these other games that they play. At 100, fully functional, not in an old folks' home, talking about 100-year-olds moving around in Japan. They have one of the largest active population of centurions after having 2 nuclear weapons dropped on them in World War II, using this technology right here. The body is supposed to be in one with the planet. The planet is covered with 75% water. A fully functional, hydrated body of an adult should be 75% water. So you may ask, why is he starting with water? Because that's mostly what you are. If someone's talking to you about health and they're not addressing 75% of you up front, you need to run. Run. What are they talking to the other 25% for? As soon as I meet you, I'm going to ask you what kind of water you're drinking. Because you're supposed to be 75% water. I'm going to address the biggest part of you up front. Because once you address that, we can deal with the other 25% afterwards. You think it's just a mere coincidence the planet's covered in 75% water and you're walking around in this mini planet right here, what we call an Earth suit? This is a mini planet. This little Earth suit that you checked into, because you're divine light. This is just an outfit. This is an avatar you put on when you come here. And it's made up of the same elements of the planet, and it should carry the same ratio of the one. But the planet's covered in 75% water for a reason. It's showing you outwardly what you need to be putting in inwardly. So you want to get the best water without all the toxics, without the fluoride, right? Without the PCBs and the lead and the mercury, without the aluminum and the boron, all these toxic chemicals that they have floating around. You see? You try to avoid the chlorine, these chemicals that are the endocrine disruptors that are also meant to calcify the third eye, calcify your pineal organ. It's not just a gland, it's actually one of the most important organs in the entire body. And that's why I renamed the portal Third Eye Visions Unlimited. So the Kangen machine, I started showing people how to use it. Traveling up and down my good friend Home Bay right here in Georgia, in Conyers, Georgia, we're downtown Orlando, where where this picture is taken are the stores that we used to own, melanated people on Church Street. They eventually bulldozing the entire block. This store behind all these stores are gone today. And they built a brand new arena there for the Magic, Orlando Magic, for $400 million. And it's called the 400 Building. It's still here today on Church Street. So I was looking right across the road in 2010 at businesses that are no longer there. They have a brand new Magic Arena there now. Here I am in Conyers, Georgia. Here we're just giving you some examples. We're blending watermelon here, for example. Here I am with the Vitamix, showing you how to seed therapy and skin therapy. That's what sets me apart from a lot of people. I'm big on blending, not juicing. Why? Because most people juice, they throw away all the fiber. And then they complain that they don't have wonderful bowel movements because they don't have fiber. Also, I am big on skin and seed. I learned from nature. Nature doesn't throw away the skins and seeds of most of the food. And most animals have to eat from the outside in. We've been trained to eat from the inside out. If a squirrel walks up to this watermelon, it has to bite through the skin first before it gets to the red part. It doesn't start off with the red part like most people. So it has to eat the skin, which is where most of the minerals are. Skin, the rind, and the seeds have more minerals than the red and white. Red and white, mostly sugar. So you're eating it backwards. We're ass backwards. We're ass backwards in this world today. And that's why, it's even people's profile pictures. They put their ass first, their ass backwards, even in their profile picture. They're walking backwards like crabs and shrimp. You're swimming backwards. So we need to start moving forward, ever backward, never. Learn the way nature does things and stay in divine law. When all law, because the all works in a conjunction with the laws. That's why we talk about all law, governs all events. But this is just an example of blending the watermelon with the skin on. Now, we educate you on all the toxins that you're doing, putting in the system. Why is this important? They want you from the rooter to the tutor. You've been miseducated to put yourself in chemical castration and toxic beauty so you could be a slave in your mind, because the brain is very much affected by chemicals that's secreted or put into the system. So since they know that the brain is like the physical mother server for the body, your mind is divine. Your mind sends instructions to the brain then sends instructions throughout the body. So the key is to jam up your brain so that even if your mind tries to send something through, it won't come through properly. So we educate you on sugar. Why? Let's start here. Number one drug on planet Earth, sugar. 8 times more addictive than cocaine. How many people know that? How many people know that the number one ingredient in cigarettes that make it hard for you to stop smoking cigarettes is sugar, not nicotine? Has any of these people are trying to get you to quit smoking tell you that when you burn and inhale sugar, that hits your brain way, way more powerfully than the nicotine. So they put sugar in your cigarettes. You're smoking burnt sugar. It's not just the nicotine. So we got to get you off processed sugar. You want to have natural sweetness. Nature gives you candy. They're called fruits. When they're ripe, they're delicious. That's the only sugar you need. Nature's candy. That's what we call it over here. You're right. Mangoes. Right now we got mango and watermelon in season. We got honeydew. We got cantaloupe. Right. We soon we're going to be having some jackfruit. We got guineps. We got all these. We got tons of apples. All kinds of sweet, delicious bananas. You know, try to get the ones that are natural, that are quote unquote organic or wild. Wild is best. Soon you'll have wild blueberries, wild blackberries. Okay. Start eating up the wild foods, meaning they've never been messed with by man. Those are the most powerful foods. They grow naturally with just sunshine and rain. And earth. That's it. Earthy. So we have to start with sugar. Remove sugar. I haven't bought sugar out probably over 25 years. I haven't put a thing of picked up sugar in a supermarket, put it in my cart. Yeah, at least 25 years, if not longer. You can use natural sweeteners in some cases, like honey, those who deal with honey, or you can use stevia. You can get agave nectar. So there's, natural things that you can use to still sweeten your fruit. But most of the time, the fruits, dried fruits or ripe fruits are good enough. Maybe some raisins, some dates. Those are natural. You could use those in different things if you need to sweeten up something extra sweet. But for me, most of the time, just the ripe fruits are good enough. Just a nice piece of pineapple, a mango, a banana, some strawberries, blueberries. That's good enough for me. I don't need it to be too sweet. Our tongue's been corrupted. So we don't have the full experience of the tongue. The tongue has regions in it that hits different parts of your brain. So you're supposed to experience every region of your tongue, from the bitter to the sour, to the sweet, to the salt, to the spicy or the pepper, to the greasy, the oils, the healthy oils, your avocado, your coconut oil, right? The healthy fats, the avocado, your ackee. These are healthy foods that are fattening, is good for the brain. That's the part of your body where you need the fat. Your brain. Brain is fat. So you need healthy oils from nuts, coconut oils, and Brazil nut and pecans and everything like this. And certain seeds like pumpkin seeds, right? Chia seeds and everything. These are the healthy fats for your brain to work real good. So you want to remove all the processed sugar from your entire grocery list, right? This is what drugs look like. Say no to drugs. I've been telling people since I landed in Brooklyn in 87. They had a place called White Castles. Went there one time, and it was the smallest, greasiest pieces of. I was like, what in God's earth is this? This is a rectangular piece of greasy fat with some sugar. And I noticed White Castles was only sold in certain neighborhoods. So was Bojangles chicken and Church's chicken. Different neighborhoods. I went to the Hasidic Jew, so-called Jews neighborhood. I went to the Irish, the Shamrock neighborhood. I went to the Italian neighborhood. I went to all the different neighborhoods traveling the 5 boroughs, and I noticed certain things sold in Crown Heights. The height of the crown. Crown also means corona. Connecting the dots for you. Now I'm phonetic spirit. And I came back to the neighborhood and I was warning the brothers at the basketball court, the handball court, and Wingate Park, Prospect Park, guys on the block down at Flatbush Junction, Empire Boulevard, wherever. I told them they had something called a 40 ounce. And there was a beautiful brother that was uplifting the people at that time. He came up with a clothing line to honor our ancestors. We used to have Negro Leagues, and his name was Spike Lee. He created a company in honor of the 40 acres and the mule they never gave us, and they call that company 40 Acres. And he had brought back the Negro League jerseys. I remember being in Wingate, and people used to wear the Negro League jerseys on the street in Brooklyn, everything, even some of the hip hop stars like MC Light, because I was there in January 87 when hip hop was taking off. MC Light, I used to hear her going down the hallway of Brooklyn in Wingate, even when she just had a song. She was like 17, had a song on the radio already. I was there in the early days with conscious hip hop, you see? And I watched that blossom and how they eventually would take that over and kind of use it against the people. So the Negro League jerseys were being popular. And it was a demand for where's my 40 shorty, as they would say in New York. Where's my 40 shorty? Where's the 40 acres that we supposed to be getting? So the system decided to give him a different kind of 40 to mock Spike Lee's 40 acres label. They gave him a 40 ounce. That's when they came out with their 40 ounce in response to Spike Lee's company, 40 acres. So you need to understand the history. So I was warning these people. I went to all the neighborhoods. 40 ounces wasn't sold in no other neighborhood except Crown Heights, where we live. Wherever you see us is where you saw the 40 ounce. And I told the guy, stop drinking this stuff. The other neighborhoods don't even have it in their store. Only a few of the Irish stores had it, because sometimes some of the Irish thought they were, mistreated when they came to New York, and they were considered like a slave class at one time. So some of the Irish people who were down with the hip hop, they would later on have groups like Irish rap groups and everything like that from out in the different neighborhoods. So a few of them, but for the most part, they didn't sell that. I also broke down the names of the different bottles because my third eye was open. I was able to see. They had one called Shit's Malt Liquor. That's exactly what I called it. It wasn't Slit's Malt Liquor. I told them it was Shit's Malt Liquor. They had one called 8 Ball. I saw a gangster on the block. I said, man, why are you drinking that? He's like, what do you mean? I said, you don't play pool, you don't play billiards? He's like, yeah. I said, well, what happens when you sink the 8 Ball? Game's over. Another gangster had a 40, one named Colt 45. I said, man, I thought you were supposed to be a gangster. He's like, what are you trying to say, shorty? I said, you don't know what the hell a Colt 45 is? You putting a Colt 45 to your head. That's ritual suicide. Why you think they need to drink Colt 45? Another one was called OE 800. I said, you don't know what happened in jolly old England in the 800s? He's like, no. It's called OE 800. The Moors went up into Europe in 7-Eleven and liberated them from their dark state, taught them how to wash their butt and separate themselves from animals and to educate them. We gave them the science of indoor plumbing, hot water, lit streets, universities, taught them about the stars and mathematics. We gave them the 0 to the 9 because they were using Roman numerals before that. We gave them mathematics. We gave them algebra. Yeah, from 7-Eleven to 1491. So that's why they mocking you, because you don't know what happened in jolly old England and Europe in the 800s, OE 800. See, now they mock you now even more. They put the stores with the names in front of you. They have 7-Eleven. They were so thankful of us coming up there in 7-Eleven, they say, oh, thank heaven. To this day, that is the logo. That is the slogan for 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. When you're driving by a 7-Eleven, you don't see the Morse colors. 7-Elevens used to be right across the street when I came to Florida from a Checkers burger. What's the connection? The flag that we conquered under was a red flag with a chess board in the middle, a checkered board in the middle of the red flag. What they call checkers, but it ain't checkers, it's chess. That was a flag of war for the Moors, because chess is for military strategy. You can't graduate from West Point without knowing chess. It's required for all military generals to study the Moorish history and Moorish science, along with Hannibal Bay, right? So I'm educating you, edutaining you. So the Checkers Burger used to be across the street from 7-Elevens in a lot of neighborhoods, because they understood the science. They hide everything in plain sight. But if your third eye is not open, you're eyed wide shut. Your eyes wide shut, they're gonna be whipping your butt because you don't know what's going on all around you. So the checkered flag represents the Moors, a red flag with a checker in the middle. To this day, they still using that. We're the ones that sailed the 7 seas, that mapped the planet, that had the science of all the pyramids and everything. Still to this day. We're the ones that taught them how to sail on the ocean, navigate by the stars. That's what mooring is. To this day, parking a ship is called mooring the ship. We are so much more than meets the eye. Transform her. Yeah. Learn the science. So I'm giving you a couple degrees. right? So your mind could be at ease, so you know how to move through life with a breeze. This is phonetic spirit. And showing you how to connect it all. So the small ships, the small boats that would guide them into the harbor, the big ships in the harbor, they were called corvettes. That's the small active boats that zoom around and race around. They would later create they have a parade in Philadelphia every year, a mummers parade, where they mock the Moors going by the original White House in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, close to Carpenter's Hall. And that parade is always led by a corvette. So they created a car based on the name of a small boat. And the symbol for that car to this day is a checkered flag. 2 flags crossing each other. That's the logo of a Corvette. Go look it up. There's a man that came along and sang a song, Little Red Corvette, but most people didn't catch on to the Purple Prince and what he was trying to drop on them. Because he over their head. So to this day, they can't start no race nowhere on the planet without flashing the checkered flag. And they stop the race with a red flag. That's why, because they have an issue with us. We're the warrior people, we set the tone, and they had to kind of put us down for them to rise. So now, when they want to talk negative about you or put you on them system on alert, they call it red flagging you. You've been red flagged. Because that's our flag that we sail all over the world, a red flag. So now you understand what they mean by red alert. Put you on red alert. They want to be alert because the people with the red is coming. And the people with the dread, they dread the people with the locks, the warriors with the locks. So they call it dreadlocks. We chiseled in all the pyramids all over the planet with our locks. The warrior people with the red flags. So that's why red flagging, red alert, you'll hear these terms. And the checkered flag, which is the chess board, is being used against us because we don't know that we invented that game. We invented strategy and military movement on planet Earth for anybody else. So they have to study you to beat you at your own game. So this is why we're talking about, why is that important? For 40s, sure, where's my 40 shorty? We're talking about 40 acres and a mule. We're talking about a 40 ounce. Now, most of the guys I warned to stop drinking those drinks, sadly to say, when I went back to visit Brooklyn about 10 years later, a lot of them had prostate cancer. 7 of them were dead or in prison. Whatever people make food for you that you don't control, that's only sold in your neighborhood, you stay far away from it. We don't control what goes to Bojangles chicken, Church's chicken, White Castle, Blue Castle, any kind of castle. If you're not the one producing it from scratch to the final plate, leave it alone. Because this is how they set us up. You get set up for the get up. They can ship certain things to your neighborhood. This is why controlling your food is important. We need neighborhood farms in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, wherever you live, New Jersey, wherever you are. You need to be part of a local food growing or local food farm, converting the rooftops. There's a sister that's doing rooftop growing in New York City, in the Bronx, different places, where certain buildings, brownstone buildings, they're allowed to cover the roof with sod, with everything, and grow food on top of the roof. Now they're seeing the benefit of that, not only from the food that's consumed, but by putting soil, 6 inches of soil to 8 inches of soil on the top of the building, it lowers the heating and cooling costs up to 30%. Keeps the building cooler. Less to cool it in the summer, less to heat it in the winter. That's the power of putting dirt on top. That's the story of the Moors that lived up in Ireland. They call them the elves. Yeah, that's another piece you need to know. Did you know that we were the original people in all of Europe? Yes, us. That's the little small green people they chased out of Ireland. Just look up the history of St. Patrick and who he chased out of Ireland. The so-called Dogon that they call Twa, pygmy. That's the snakes, people with the caduceus right here. The pharaonic people with the snake, the third eye open. So we show it with a snake, which represents what? Everlasting life, born again, rejuvenation, shedding your skin daily. Every day you shed skin. That's the snake part of you. You're born again every day. Every day you wash out millions of scales off your body. If you don't drink water for a while, you're going to look scaly. That's the reptilian part of us. So we need to know what that means. They chase the snakes out of Ireland. I'm in Florida. There's a university here named FAMU. First time I went up there many years ago, I saw a big hill, a big mountain with a pyramid. They took that hill over and they put the Capitol building on there. I asked them, hey, what's going on with this big hill here? They said, that's where the snakes used to be. They chased the snakes off the hill. I said, oh. I said, is that why you guys are called the snakes now? He said, yes. They call them the FAMU rattlers, the rattlesnakes. That's their name. That's their mascot. That's their theme, FAMU. They call them the rattlers because of the snakes that they chase off the hill and they build the university on the other side. So whenever they say they're chasing snakes out of someplace, they're chasing you. That represents you. Because your people had snakes coming out their forehead, right on the pyramids, wherever you find them. They're killing the snakes. You're the demons. They're making you the demon. They're labeling you as the devil, saying the woman shouldn't talk to no snake. They're gonna get her kicked out the garden. Understand the story now? Yeah. So learn. We were the people in Ireland. They tell you the story, but they leave out the glory. So they labeled you the little blue people. They made a cartoon about you. They called you the Smurfs, little blue people that lived on the mushrooms. You're also the leprechaun. You're the lucky guy sitting on a pot of gold. Little green men that bring good luck when they collect you. You're no good except when they're collecting you. Then you bring them good luck. So that's the Irish, the luck of the Irish. Right? There's a sham on that rock. They call it sham rock for a reason. They put in a sham on you. We used to live on them rocks. We're the original eaters of the Irish moss up there. They don't know nothing about that. All right. So say no to drugs. Say no to things that are processed, sold to you, that's going to mess you up. Get back to nature. The more fresh fruits and vegetables and water you're drinking, this is what's going to take us to the next level because we're divine beings operating through this body. But most people never told you that. You're not a body. You're a divine being experiencing life through a body. So why do you need to take care of it? Because it's been bequeathed to you. It's been entrusted to you. This is part of this is like a sheep and you are the shepherd. This is like a property and you're the trustee. You want to be a good what? Good shepherd over the flock. You want to be a good ambassador. And the way you're supposed to return it is the way you got it. It was given to you nice and soft and plump, smooth as a baby's butt. That's the way you need to turn it back in because this is not your property. You're just using it for a while you're down here. Just like you rent somebody's property, how are you supposed to turn it in? Just normal wear and tear. That's it. It ain't supposed to be tore up. If it's tore up beyond that, you will not only lose your deposit, you might get fees on top of that. You got to give it back in the order you got it with just normal wear and tear. That's it. So keep that in mind. So these are some of the things that's in your water we want to avoid, right? Now, here's another trick with water. You want to drink water room temperature or above, not cold. The body cannot assimilate cold water. So the core of the body's temperature is 98.6 degrees. The closer you give it liquids close to 98.6, the better it can assimilate it. That's why most countries in the world don't give you water with ice. Only in this country. You travel internationally, you'll find out they serve you water room temperature. You have to ask for ice. Here it's the opposite. You got to tell them not to put ice. Because here everything is set up for you to be sick so that companies can make a bunch of money off of you. So you want to drink your water room temperature or warmer. Better to have a cup of tea or light broth than to have cold water. Okay? Same goes for bathing. When you bathe in hot water, you drain your body. This is a battery. This earth suit is a battery. We're magno-electro-biochemical suits. Start magnetic, electrical, and biochemical. This outfit. So what do all batteries have in common? They have to be what? Alkaline to hold a charge. Also, what is another thing all batteries have in common? The colder they are, the better they conduct electricity. If you overheat a battery, you drain it. So when you overheat in your body, you drain it. Make sense? Because the spiritual part of you is electric. That's why when the spirit leaves the body, the way you bring it back, it's to say charge, clear, boom. Electrical. They don't give you a burger when you pass out. They shock you back in. You got to jump start you back in, just like a battery under the hood. Okay? So if you want your batteries to stay charged longer, you stick them in the freezer. You don't stick them in the fire. You don't put them in the oven. If you heat them up, the charge drains. If you freeze them up, the charge increases. This is why you do cold plunges. This is why when an athlete is tore up and they want his body to heal real fast, they stick him in a tub of ice. Does that make sense now? Because the body's a battery. So you stick it in ice. It's going to charge faster and everything going to heal quicker. See, I practice uncommon sense because sense ain't common nowadays. Sense is not common nowadays. I'm the crazy guy, the crazy child that's out here wild for a while. So I can then bring it to you in style. That's been an experience. Yeah, I stay crazy and stay wild. Don't be tame. Don't be lame. Just stay on the good side of insane. They used to say insane in the membrane. Yeah, but now we doing it to edutain. All right. Yeah, I'm not saying dude from Wingate. I'm here to open up the Win Gate so you can come on, winners. That's right. Come on with it. We went from Prospect Park, Prospect Heights, to the height of the Crown Heights. Now, here's another example of why I've always been an advocate for the environment. Plastics in our water and our ocean. Now you got microplastics in babies being born now. They can test babies in the womb. They find microplastics in the womb now. This is one of the hardest things to get out of your system. So we get away from all the plastics. We got turtles. This used to be called Turtle Island over here. Turtles, this is one of the oldest living animals on planet Earth. Some of these are up to 1,000 years old, 1,500 years old. Tortoise. And look at that. Look at how it's affecting them. This thing was grown with plastic around it from a baby. It's birds, they're washing up on the ocean. You find them in the park full of bottle stoppers, rubbers, everything that's inside of them. All right. So all your plastic carrier, the same thing is happening to us. I'm showing you this because there's plastics now in our bodies. All right. The Kangen machine reduces that. You make the water at your house, and you don't have to deal with plastic bottles. You just pour it in a jar. Now let's jump through some of these here. Chemical castration. This is one of the first ways they get you chemically castrated with what they call vaccination. You don't want to be part of the vaccine nation. No, you want to be part of the live, living, and divine nation. So now they're requiring you to have more quote unquote shots than ever before. And they don't do testing that they release to the public on the combinations. You can look this up yourself. They won't tell you how this combines in the body. Even if they could tell you one of them is safe, which is not, what they don't tell you is when they shot you with 5 or 6 or 7, it combines in the body to produce a whole bunch of additional problems. That type of research is not published. They lie and say they don't do combination research. We know that's not true because we have whistleblowers that's come forward and say, yes, they have done combination research and the numbers were so egregious that they would rather lie and say they haven't done the test than to tell you how bad it was. So this is another way they're getting at you. My daughter is going to be 13. My eldest is in August. Never been vaccinated a day in her life. Straight A student. Active. Hardly ever get sick with anything. She didn't even catch COVID. And she's never been vaccinated. When other students at school got it, they sent her home because she didn't have it. They'd make her stay home till everything was clear. And she's traveling in and out the country. You don't need to be vaccinated. Okay? That's crazy. Eat natural food. We can show you the natural ways with our consultations for parents, for adults. We assist couples. I've helped over 100 couples get pregnant. I've helped all kinds of women with fibroids, cysts, tumors, miscarriages. I help men with prostate problems, low sperm count, everything. We help you boost your immunity natural using food and divine healing, sunlight, grounding, everything. We teach you how to use crystals, copper, and all that, and so much more. Here's another quick slide I like to show. Young people and adults should not have cell phones up against their head in your body. This is just showing you how the radiation goes into the brain, especially for the young boys and girls, young kings and queens, because their brain's not fully developed. Their skulls are not fully developed. The bone is thinner, so the radiation can penetrate deeper into the body. The thicker your head is, this is the only time you want to be a thick head. Because it helps to block radiation. Now they got 5G towers and all kinds of devices beaming radiation into your body. If you're going to use a cell phone, it's best to get a wired headphone you can put in your ears and then get a clip-on Clip it on the outside of your pants belt or whatever. Don't put it inside your pocket if you can avoid that. Or get an RFID case, put it in an RFID case to block the radiation. I can share with you the diodes and devices from our good brother, who's now our ancestor, Dr. Delbert Blair. I used to have good conversations with him, try to bring him to Atlanta. And he has some good diodes on his website as well, the Meta Center out of Chicago. That works. I promote our people that got the technology. So the phones give off ELF waves, electromagnetic low frequency waves, and other 5G waves that affect the brain. Now they're talking about putting technology in the Bluetooth earbuds that could read your mind and report back what your mind's saying. I just put a video of that on my Instagram page earlier, where the WHO, this is someone speaking in front of the WHO, saying they have technology right now that can scan your thoughts and report back. And they plan to put it in earbuds and AirPods and Beats audio and all these other different things you're putting over your ears, so they can read your mind and then report back in time. So be mindful. That's me. I'm third eye vision. I'm here to show you what's happening real time. Now, the world's upside down. The world's upside down. They're trying to turn your smile into a frown. So what do? I put the world upside down. See these lines on the ground? They're actually in the sky. They call them chemtrails. Now, some people will try to convince you, oh, they don't exist. Those are not chemtrails. Those are contrails. Well, here's this picture over here. This is what a contrail looks like. A condensation trail is created when the air goes through an engine of an airplane and then freezes into crystals behind it, only to be dissipated later. So it only hangs out for a small time, and then it goes back to being clear. This is a contrail. This is normal. This that hangs out and becomes a cloud that causes rain 5 hours later, this is a chemical trail. A lot of minerals have been found, heavy metals like aluminum and all kinds of stuff been found in these. This is being used to block out sunlight from around the world and the so-called global warming, but also it's being used to put heavy metals in our atmosphere and in our bodies and our food and everything. So we need to be mindful and active of this. This is why you need to cleanse and do certain rituals every quarterly. Like we just did a quarterly retreat in Orlando for the summer solstice. Every 3 months, you need to be cleansing your body because you're being subjected to some type of chemical somehow to the atmosphere, because they don't want you to be at your most sphere. All right, so chemtrails are dangerous. I'm an aerospace engineer. I've designed airplanes for over 20-something years for all the big companies, Lockheed, Boeing, Grumman, Sikorsky, Pratt & Whitney, you name it. Okay, so I can tell you, this is a contrail that's normal. This is not what a normal airplane engine puts out. Take it from a real rocket scientist telling you that. Okay, now because people are waking up to these 5G towers and cellular towers that are microwaves, that also could cook your brain and affect the way you sleep and dream at night if you sleep next to one of these things. People are waking up and they don't want this stuff in our neighborhood. They're starting to protest it. So what are they doing? They're now designing special hidden in plain sight towers like this cactus plant or this pine trees. What they're doing in some of the buildings in the cities, for those who are in the city, let me wake you up to some knowledge. If you live in New York, Brooklyn, whatever, you see these big buildings. Some of these buildings have gargoyles and different things on the side of the buildings. They're taking those down, they're hollowing them out. They're putting a 5G antenna inside the gargoyles and different things is mounted on the building and putting it back up. So you don't realize that the new gargoyle is like a plastic painted to look like the original stone gargoyle that was on the building from 150 years ago. So that's another way they're hiding antennas in plain sight. So you have a 5-story building or 6-story building in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, wherever, that's been downtown, and they don't want to stick an antenna on it because everyone's going to protest and say, hey, there's an antenna. They'll find some feature of the building they can replace late one night with a hollowed out version of an antenna that looks the same, like a gargoyle or a statue that's on the building or something like that, or a column that's on the building. So they replace the column with a hollowed out column with the antenna inside, like they're doing here. See this cactus? You can see them lift the cactus up. See the antennas on the inside. So that's another example that they're hiding these all around us. So we're being radiated. All right. So what are the solutions? No point in talking about the problem if you can't fix it. So number one, you eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. This is going to rebuild your cell, and all the cellular deterioration and the cellular degradation that's going on from the chemicals you're being exposed to, from the radiation from your phone, your smart TV, your laptop, your desktop, all kinds of stuff you're walking by all day in the subway, wherever, local hotspot. You can clean it up and help your body rejuvenate. Remember, I told you, you get rid of dead cells every day. You also make brand new cells every day. That's the snake part of you. That's the rejuvenation. That's why they use the symbol of 2 snakes to represent health, the caduceus. Okay, that also represents your DNA strand replicating. Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. Cleanse your body in alignment with nature. So every 3 months, and the solstices and the equinoxes, you should be cleansing. Nature cleanses and changes seasons, so should you. Stay in a divine alignment. Get a whole lot of nature. Hug trees. Walk barefoot outside every chance you get. Ground yourself, whether it's on sand, grass, wood, dirt, doesn't matter, as long as it's connected directly to the earth. Whether you're standing on a big boulder, on a cut down trunk of a tree, on a sand or grass or just dirt directly, as long as it's connected directly to earth. Be in sunlight. Most of us suffer from vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is your happy hormone. If you don't have vitamin D, you're going to be sad. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be more suicidal. They know that. That's why they want you inside. Jobs that keep you in a cubicle, put you in a box. You're jacked in a box, waiting to spring up and do something bad. You understand? You want to be on the ball, not in the box. Stay on the earth ball. You look at this big ball in the sky. Stay on the ball, get out the box. Keep it rolling. Holistic towers. These ancient structures were set up as orgone-free generators. They produce natural energy. They've hidden that from you. They put seeds inside the pyramids, and the seeds inside the pyramids grow 4 or 5 times faster than the seeds outside the pyramid. They've done all kinds of tests. They've had people sleep inside the chambers and measure the brainwave activity, record their dreams and everything, and come out and tell you how they travel much faster. Astral projection activated, chakras aligned. So these are energy vortices. These are to run cities. They're not just tombs. They're not tombs to bury dead people. That's a lie. The Valley of the Kings is separate from here. There's an area separate from this part of Kemet where they buried the actual people, the real burial ground. They call it the Valley of the Kings. They didn't bury people in here. So you need to wake up to the truth of what's happening on the planet. These structures are all over the world. Our ancestors built them everywhere. From Machu Picchu to Stonehenge to Easter Island to everywhere you go, you find ancient megalithic structures that generate energy. And some of them under the ocean from sunken Atlantis or the land of Mu. So this is why we talk about energy back in your water. This is what the machine does. It puts like an orgone energy back in the water. But this machine doesn't just make water to drink. I clean my tub with the water from here. I scrub my bathroom. I clean the white grout between the tiles in my shower. The machine makes every kind of water for your skin, to mop your floor, to scrub your tub, and everything, not just to drink. So it's a one-stop shop. Get rid of all the chemicals. You don't need no scrubbing bubbles, no Mr. Clean, no Mrs. Dash, no lemon, this, that, and the other, and all the other crazy stuff, chemicals you buy to bring it to your home. You get rid of all of it. You clean your house with water. What a revolutionary concept. Wow, you mean I can do all the cleaning with water? Yeah, that's why they bring the Aquaman movies back to you, letting you know. At one time, we did everything with water. We even had laser weapons made out of water. Yeah, sunken Atlantis. They put everything in your face. They're just not telling you where it fits in the place or where you fit. They're not putting it in a historic timeline. That's the part where I come in. So I'm kind of like an Aquaman. I'm the Aquarian, bringing you the Aquarian age information. That's why I'm a water bearer. Literally got a water company. I'm the water bearer. Okay. You're the divine design. There you are. This is Fibonacci sequence right here showing you this is how they create the Bose audio system. This is your inner ear. This is the atmosphere. This is how you look when you're in the womb. This is the shape of the Milky Way galaxy. There are no straight lines. I'm glad Terrence Howard is coming out now and dropping some science on it, because they thought I was crazy in 87 and before 87. I was that crazy child that can astral project and travel from birth. So I bring back information. So I'm glad all the crazies are coming out, connecting the dots for people. So this is you. This is what they call the highest cipher, the 9, the divine. Everything breaks down in fractals. And so why is that important? You put divine food in. Here's some examples of raw dishes I created. This is Jason's Rotted Creations. Okay, just the ones I remember to take a picture of before I ate them. They were so delicious. Everything here is raw, 100% raw. From natural nori wrap rolls, kale. I'm the one that educate people on eating raw callaloo, how to make a callaloo salad. I had blended callaloo today with cactus and ripe mangoes from the backyard with the skin on. Mangoes with the skin and all. I've done my watermelon with the skin and the seeds. Here's a salad with cabbage. Here's a half shell of cabbage with my nut meat. So we're making live sandwiches. We're using the actual cabbage instead of bread to put that on to eat. Okay. Here's some examples of me once again in the community. I just did a holistic ministry survival class here in Orlando with the Nuapian Nation. Right? Talking about survival and how you survive. What's in your bug out bag or your bug in bag? What kind of natural oils you need? What kind of herbs you need to have? What kind of information you need to have as you're gonna head out and try to walk in the dark or hang out in the park. How you gonna keep that all spark, right? So we can transform her. As they call it, the all spark, the cube that makes everything go, do what it do. You have that in you. All right, here I am. See? Doing the Y. The Y, not you. Take your body and shape it like a Y. That's my favorite letter, Y. It's one letter is a question. I carry a Y in my pocket, pull it out every chance I get. I want to know why. So here I am on the beach. This is in Daytona Beach a couple months ago. This is an example of my smoothie right here. We got kale, apple, ripe plantain. We got the aloe vera plant. I blend the whole thing, skin and all. Came from the backyard. Just wash it and cut it up. We had some what they call plant-based protein powder and moringa. Kangen water, 9.5 pH. Blended it all up. There it is in the mason jar. And drink it. Powerful. Add a little ginger if you want to get it circulating a little better. Add a little cayenne pepper to it. Okay. Here's another dish. They want a lentil dish. This is a lentil. Alkaline. With the coyote squash in there, what we call a chocho. Powerful. Got some thyme. Got a little Jamaican Blue Mountain curry. A little jerk sauce. Boom, boom, boom. Season up. Onions, red onions. And tomatoes, small little tomatoes. There it is, sitting with some romaine lettuce, sitting on some lettuce right here. This is another example. You can eat alkaline, you can eat fine and delicious, and have everything in time, all right? So I want to just say thank you. Give thanks for your time. I'm open now for questions and answers for anyone that would like to address if there's any questions that came in the chat. Put questions in the chat. By the way, I forgot to mention that earlier, as well as those who may be zooming in live. I'm happy to be able to answer questions live right on the spot for anyone that has questions.
All right, one question you got in the chat, Brother Josh Son. From Sister Aisha, how does ELF affects the body? How does ELF affect the body?
Excellent question. Thank you, Sister Aisha. ELF affects the body.
I'm sorry. Hi, I just want to correct. My name is not Aisha. It's Aiyahna.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the correction, my divine sister. Sister Aiyahna. Yes, pronunciation, word, powers, and sound is important. So we want to make sure we say it right. We want to send out the right energy. So Sister Aiyahna, the ELF waves will come in your body and interfere with your thought process. So let's say you're awake and you're using the phone a lot. First of all, what you will notice sometimes is a heat. You'll notice the part of the body might feel hot. That side of your face or your brain might feel hot. Or you may notice you're a little drained, extra drained when you get off the phone, or even during the call, depending on how long the call is, or the device. It may not be a phone. Let's say you have a laptop. That word, by the way, is a setup for the getup. You shouldn't have computers in your lap. They should all be desktop, is what they should call them. If you're going to put it in your lap, you need to have a device that you can lay on your lap, that the laptop would then go on top of. So I see people all the time, they're sitting in the park. They literally have the laptop in their lap. And they don't have any devices, Elf wave. They don't have any diodes or anything to block the radiation. And they're sitting there for hours, just have it in their lap, they're typing, and they don't realize they're cooking their genitals. That affects the men's sperm count, that affects the women in terms of fibroids, tumors, cysts, all that's going on. And they know this, that's why they don't educate the public. It's up to people like me to bring this information to you, to tell you that if you keep doing this on a regular basis, you're gonna start seeing all these symptoms showing up. So if it's a phone that you're holding up to your head, after a while, you might notice you don't have good hearing in that ear, because some people are right-handed, other people are left-handed. So what will happen, you'll usually use your dominant hand to hold the phone against the dominant side of your head. So if you're left-handed, you're going to put it against your left ear most of the time. If you're right-handed, you're going to put it against your right ear most of the time. So you may notice that side, suddenly the hearing starts going. Or you start having ringing in that ear, or you develop an issue with your eye in that side. As it starts, the radiation starts building up. Your body is very forgiving, and it will work, as we say, to make millions of new cells and create and remove old cells every day. So, but prolonged use of anything eventually builds up and the system eventually breaks. So the key is to get to it early before things start breaking. It affects your pineal organ. It affects your brain if it's on the head. Another thing, I'm the man that's brave enough. I walk up to women all the time, wherever I see them, in the supermarket, in the store, and I tell them, I ask them, hey, you plan on having cooked breast for dinner? And they looked at me. I said, you having cooked breast for dinner? And they look at me strange, like, what are you talking about? I said, I just saw you put your phone in your bra. I said, that's the last place you want to put a phone. I see women doing it all the time, carrying their cell phone in their bras. Like, are you crazy? Do you understand you got a microwave against your breast? And then they wonder why they have so much breast cancer, lumps, and everything else going on. That's the last place to put a phone. Why? Because radiation loves fat. It loves fatty tissue. And your mammary glands are mostly fat. So having your cell phone in your back pocket up against your fat butt, don't do that. We got to stop doing all these things that we've been programmed to do, because, you know, there's $1 trillion business waiting on you to get sick. They don't want you to know up front how to avoid this stuff on the back end. So that's where I come in. We want to be visionary. We want to be thinkers, forethought. So remove all these toxic devices. If you go into the cell phone, in the actual manual, in the settings of the phone, where they talk about how the phone gets certified, you'll find out that in most of the phones, the only way they were able to certify to sell it to the public is they had to test it 2 or 3 inches away from the body. A lot of people don't know that. It's actually in the fine print in the phone, how they got qualified. So when they even tested the phone to get it on the market, to pass the SEC and all these other requirements, it was never supposed to touch your body. It's supposed to be a hand-free device. That's why the best thing to do with your phone, get a case where you just stand on it, on the back, so you can stand it up when you're dealing with it or looking at it. You try to keep it off of your body as much as possible. So now you have cases where you can just flip out a little leg and you can sit it on the desk and have it kind of support itself without physically touching your hand. Hands-free. Hands-free is the best way to have your phone. Flip it into something. If you're in your car, put it on a stand if it's on a desk or wherever. So you're not physically holding it in your hand. You only got to touch it when you need to press something, turn the volume up, whatever. And get away from the vampires or energy vampires that are sinking their Bluetooth into you. That's how the energy vampires are getting to you now. They use a Bluetooth to suck you dry.
That leads into my next question, Jackson.
Sure, my brother.
Mixed breed, I'm endorsing it. Man, thank you for the presentation. Wonderful presentation. Why? We just got a plethora of information. My brother, we give thanks for you and for the continued information, knowledge, and everything that you offer and you bring to the table for the masses. However, the Bluetooth, I've been asking this question for a while, and I spoke to what's his name again? The electrical guy, man. My mind just drew a blank, and that's probably because I got the Bluetooth headset on my head.
Oh, you mean the brother? You mean the brother that does the copper pyramids
and stuff? Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. I know him. That's good, brother.
No, not him.
Which other electrical brother you speaking?
His name is right at the tip of my tongue. Brother. Man, my mind just drew a blank. It's probably because I got the Bluetooth on.
That's fine.
El
Just
Elson,
tell me
Elson,
what the
no.
question was about.
So the question is Bluetooth, and I asked him about Bluetooth, and he said, "No, there's nothing wrong with Bluetooth." And I said, "What? But isn't it radiation?" But he was talking about hertz and stuff like that.
Right.
So I want to
Well,
know
there's
how is Bluetooth detrimental to our health, like you were saying, the Bluetooth.
because it's because there's many scientists, including the people that even promote this usage, will come out and tell you that if it's a transmitter, if it's a receiver and a transmitter, correct? Because you're speaking into it, they have little microphones, so it has to transmit back to the phone, right?
Right.
So if it's receiving and transmitting, then that is operating within a bandwidth, a frequency, and that frequency interferes with your natural brain and body frequency. So even though he's saying it operates within a hertz, certain range, or it may not be as magnified, they're telling you, these people that's putting out these devices, are telling you up front that continued use of these devices physically concentrates the heat. They can test it with an actual device. You can test it, test the radiation level on it, when it's on, when it's active, when it's off, when you're on a call versus off a call, and you can see the actual dial changes. There's videos on this right now where people are testing this, but I always take you back to the head people. You can go to the actual websites of the people putting out these information and read up on what they're putting out. So I understand it from that level as well. There, by the way, for the listening audience, I want you, like I tell people, don't be-lie-Eve me. Don't believe me. If you be-lie to Eve, Eve is the mother of all creation. They rename Isis or Set. They call her Eve. If you lie to Eve, you'll end up far from her. To go far from something, back in the day, they call it go nigh, go nither, go long. So if you be-lie to Eve, you end up nigh Eve. But don't believe you'll end up naive. Go look it up for yourself. I want you to Google voice to skull technology. You'll find a patent by the United States military, where they already patented technology to put voices directly in your head using your skull.
Wow.
Your skull as a speaker, your skull as a vibrating instrument. It's called voice to skull technology.
Oh, wow.
So when you hear people sometimes saying they hear voices in their head telling them to do stuff, that's not a joke. They can beam voices directly in your head using voice to skull technology.
Without anything
This is
over
not
your head, without any earpiece,
without
without any
nothing over your
headset.
head.
Wow.
Correct. This is why they're putting up these towers everywhere. Now, if you
Yeah, you
understand
know what's
why I
crazy?
stress so much about
You know,
cell towers.
you know what's. I'm not surprised, but I was actually surprised when I went to Guyana in 2022 December, and I'm traveling from the airport to the country, and I look to my left, or I look to my we drive on the opposite side, so I'm looking, and I'm like, hold on, wait, that's a 5G tower, and then a couple miles down the highway, I see another one. I'm like, no way, how did they get these things here? I'm talking about they in the country along the highway in the bush.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, these 5G towers is there too?
So why?
No way.
I'm going to answer you this way. Why do you think there's certain people who have massive foundations that's spending billions of dollars to bring free laptop and internet to people in the third world and in the jungle? Why do you think they're doing that?
It's a very simple and easy answer. That's how.
Right? Why do you think they're
ground.
trying to open? They're trying to open the gates of hell.
Oh wow!
So they can bill you. See, I'm Third Eye Visions Unlimited. So you need to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. See, they want to kill you small and soft. Killing you soft. They want to kill you micro softly. So they need a guy to open up the gates, to build the gates, to bring the stuff from hell into this dimension.
Bill Gates. Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful, man. Wow. Listen, the sister got a question. Let me say her name correctly. Let me say her name correctly.
Yes,
Aiyahna. Aiyahna has a
yes,
question.
excellent.
I don't really have a question. I said I wanted to speak on something since this brother is speaking on it. His presentation is over. And he's speaking about energy and frequency, and I have some knowledge of that. And you had a question as how Bluetooth affects you, or how does cell phones affect us, or how does the water we drink affect us, or how does the food that we eat affects us. So your body, like the brother was saying it before, that you like a battery, and you have a negative and a positive charge. You have a left side and a right side, a negative and a positive. And you have an aura field around you. That's your energy. So when you are tuning in, like when you tune in on a radio station and you tune into a certain frequency, when you're tuning into a certain frequency or the vibration that you're vibrating at, you pick up the same frequencies around you. So if you had a low vibration at a low frequency, if you're sad and depressed, or if you're fearful, those are very low vibrational frequencies. And that's how other low vibration frequency can affect your aura. And that's how they could actually transmission messages to your thoughts, because you're now down in that low vibrational state. So therefore you're tuning into that low vibrational frequency, and that's how you pick it up like a radio station. Now, he mentioned something about, he was talking about something about, what was the question I asked? How does cell phones affect you? It's the
Your
same
question
as
was,
how,
your
was
question was
it?
ELF.
Yeah,
Your question was ELF, yeah.
it's funny that
Yes,
he's talking
ELF,
about.
which is in, yes, which is in many devices, not just a cell phone.
Yeah,
But
it's
go ahead.
funny how you brought this up, because I remember when I was working in the hospital and they wanted us to walk around with these devices that they use for doing heart monitoring. And I objected to it and furnished a whole report on cell phone and how they cancer causing because of the frequency that's it's sending off. So you don't have
Correct.
to be using your cell phone for it to affect you. They could send out frequency through your cell phone, through your devices, and those are low vibrational frequency that affects your thought. So that's how
Correct.
you tune into that low vibrational frequency. Now, how food work is, if you're eating something that is naturally grown from the planet, it's at high vibrational frequency because it's getting its energy from
Correct.
the sun. So those are high vibrational food, versus if you eat food that are created by man, which are artificial, they are low vibrational food. So therefore you're taking in low energy. They're very low in energy, and you're not giving your body the optimum energy that it needs to do what it's doing. Versus if you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, you're absorbing all the light from that food. Now, there's
Right.
one thing you
Exactly.
mentioned about alkalinity and drinking alkaline water. And I'm speaking from my own experience. And I used to eat alkaline, but I don't practice that anymore because I understand that the body is both acid and base. And we have to be neutral within the middle, because everything is about balancing itself out. About you also is about balancing yourself out. Why you always see the yin and the yang, it's all about balancing. So it's the same thing when you come to balancing the acid and the base within your body. Is always have to stay neutral at 7.5. 7.5. I think it's 7.5. I don't know. I haven't been in school in a long time, but I
Neutral
believe
would
it's
be
7.5.
7.0. Neutral would be 7.0 on your pH scale.
7.0. So you have to be neutral. You can't be too far on the spectrum of acidity, and you can't be too far on the spectrum of alkalinity either, because our stomach are made up of acid, and our stomach produces acid, produces acid, especially when we eat and you start producing the acid. The acid is what you need to break down your food to help you absorb it and to kill any maybe bacteria that is unwanted in your stomach that may come in with the food. That is what the acid is there for. So what I'm saying is, if you're
Yes.
drinking alkaline water, I guess this is a question. If you're drinking alkaline water and that is basically there to neutralize the acid, how is your food going to be broken down? How is it going to be absorbed? So these are some things
Excellent
that
question.
I've learned through over the years of practicing Dr. Sebi versus me coming to the understanding of how the body works, how food works, and how energy works. So everything around you is energy. Every single thing around you is energy. You are energy. Your body's energy. The true being within you is pure energy. So once that energy leaves your body, that's why the body cannot exist without it, because that energy within you is what's feeding your body. That's what keeps it going. That's what keeps it alive. And that's why when
Okay,
our
good.
soul severs from our body, the body will die, cannot live without the energy.
All right. Okay. So pretty much everything you're saying is in alignment with what I said earlier, just explain in a different way. However, one thing you're asking is about the alkaline water, right?
Mhm.
Or you said you quote unquote went initially with alkaline and then not alkaline, but more neutral. So you have different
Yeah.
parts of your body that function differently
Mhm.
based on what they need to accomplish. So, for example, you need strong stomach acid to break down certain foods. So the way you balance, as you the word you're using, balancing it out, is you're supposed to ideally drink an hour before or after you eat, not during eating, which is what a lot of people do wrong. They eat and drink at the same time. Even when I was being raised by my grandmother in the hills of Westmoreland, they would serve the food. You'd have a pitcher with whatever drink they had in the middle. They had the glasses turned down. You couldn't touch the glass until after you finish eating. There was no eating and drinking. I was raised like that. The ancestors and the elders knew that. Here, people eat, drink. They have a pizza in one hand and a cold Coke in the next, or whatever. They're eating and drink. You don't ever do that. So you should be drinking ideally an hour before you eat and an hour after you eat. So that way the water goes down into your system, gets assimilated, and then allows the stomach acid to come back up and be strong when you start to eat the food. Because the first time you put food on your tongue is going to send a message to your brain that this is now solid. It's now a piece of whatever, mushroom, curried mushroom, or whatever. It's then going to send a signal to your stomach to start releasing the bile and everything to have the right acid to prepare for that. This is what an assembly line is based on, your digestive system. This is what a manufacturing plant is based on, your digestive system. Everything we see on the outside is based on us. And so that is how come by the time the food hits the stomach, the right acid is there. Because I'm not drinking 9.0 or 8.5 pH alkaline water while I'm eating my curry, I don't know, mushroom or whatever I may be consuming at that time. So there's no concern as to how is the food going to get digested. Because when you're eating, you should just be eating. Make love to your food. That's just a process at that time. You should not be eating and drinking regardless. Even if the water is 7.0, it's still going to neutralize your stomach acid, which is at 2.5, 2.7, 2.8. So even if you were drinking 7.0 water while eating, you're still messing up the digestive process. There should be no drinking happening when you're eating, none, regardless of the water. So that's another thing that we're out of order. We're not following divine law. So you should eat before and after, not during the drinking process. Your stomach's going to produce the acid, and the right gut biome, the gut biology, the right bacteria. It's not just the acid level. You need the right gut bacteria, which are selling big now, called probiotics. Because without that, you're not going to be absorbing most of the minerals and breaking the food down properly anyhow. So most people, their gut bacteria is off, not just the pH. Their bacteria levels are off because they're eating a whole bunch of pus. They're eating, McDoodoo burgers. They're eating Pussy Hut, and all this stuff that they're eating and not realizing none of that's food. So I'm educating based on that perspective because once again, I have 21 years plus, no animal flesh of any kind. March 14th was my 21st anniversary. 100% natural food for 21 plus years. 2.5 of that was raw, 100% raw. No fire to no food for 2.5 years straight. Stove never came on for 2.5 years. I put myself through this. So when you're talking about inexperience, yes. And then I help thousands of other people do the same. And so we're going to break down, we get rid of quote unquote dis-ease and disorders, where there's die or beat this, because that's a solution, not a dead sentence. You're going to die or beat this, which one? Or somebody comes to me, they say, I have diabetes. I say, yes, so you going to die or you going to beat this? Which one? And they laugh, because that's how it works. So energy, like you said, was exactly, this is how you boost your energy levels. This is how you deal with your auric field. This is how you clear up your chakras. Because we're not the body, we're a divine spirit operating from a higher dimension down through the pineal organ into this body, or what they call the upper crown chakra. Most people don't know there's 14 main chakras, not just 7. Because some are front and back. We learned that in Qigong. And then the energy you're speaking of is right on point. Are you familiar with Reiki?
Yeah, I think you weren't on, but I had a presentation on quantum healing,
Right.
which
So
is
Reiki,
energy
similar.
healing. It basically is energy.
Correct.
Reiki is an
Correct.
example of quantum healing, but I do sound healing, so I have a good understanding how sound and frequency works. And this
Very
is
good.
why I understand what were talking about, because how
Wow.
this is the reason why sound healing work is because all your cells within your being are vibrating at a certain frequency. And if you tune yourself, if you listen to a certain frequency, like a healing frequency, like 432 hertz frequency, you are tuning yourself cells to match that higher frequency that you're listening to, which is the 432 hertz frequency. So your cells are going to start vibrating at that same frequency. And this is how you balance. And when I say balance, I'm speaking about how you heal your diseases.
Yeah.
I call
Yeah.
them imbalances. This is how you balance out whatever disease you're having. That's what basically how you heal your body, using that sound frequency. Like the brother said, everything you say, everything we do and say sends out frequency. Our thoughts sends out frequency. Our words sends out frequency. You have words, you could send out words to kill someone, or you could send out words to heal someone, just as how you could send out thoughts to kill someone, or you could also send out thoughts to heal someone, because everything is connected through the energy. There is no separation. So you're sending that energy, that thought of loving and healing to that person, which is going out in vibration to that person that you have in your thoughts. So this is why these things are so powerful. And this is why, like he was speaking about, these people who are creating these different type of technologies, they know what they're doing because they're sending out a certain frequency, or they're creating certain events to send out a certain frequency where they put people in that stress, a lower vibration, that disharmonious state, and that is where your body get sick. That is how you get dis-ease, by bringing down the person's vibration. And they do that, like he said, through the food, through the water, through the music, through the sounds that you listen to, through the words that you speak. And all of these are sending out vibration that are affecting our beings. They're not doing that only to make the body dis-ease, but they're also doing that to separate you from your spirit, from your inner being. That is the real reason why they're doing what they're doing, because all these things will separate you from your God self within your own being. And basically that's
Right.
what they're doing.
Exactly.
The things that they're doing. But the main thing is
Exactly.
to rise your frequency, rise your vibration by staying in the love frequency, by moving into the heart space. Once you raise your vibrations, if your vibration is really high, you will never ever get sick. Nothing that you do will make you get sick, because your vibration is so high that you will neutralize anything.
Correct. So and that's why we, our ministry approach everything from mind, body, and spirit. Because we deal with all three, we understand that they're bombarding you from all three. So for example, when you talked about energy healing, a lot of people think I'm crazy because I do Reiki, distant Reiki, what they call Reiki, the Ra key, the key of light or unlocking. It's called a Shakem. It's called a prana. It's called different energy, different words in different ancient indigenous cultures. So I have a client, let's say in Oregon, and I'm in Central Florida, and I can send them distant Reiki. I have them set up. They're sitting in an environment, tell them what to do, what they need to have around them, and I can send them energy. I can do a Reiki treatment, 5, 6, 7, 10 states away, doesn't matter. And people say, what? How you? Yes, because I understand there is no separation. I'm connected all throughout the multiverse. So that's considered out of the box for most people because they think you have to have a client next to you and all that. No.
Yeah, but they don't
The
understand
same
how
way.
energy works. That they
Right.
don't
That's
understand that
right.
there's prana all around them. And when we
That-
inhale, we're not inhaling air, we're inhaling prana, we're inhaling life force, and that's what maintains us. And that is why when you do breath work, you inhale, you're filling your body with so much, your cells with so much prana that you're able to eliminate disease too by doing breath work. You could heal yourself through
Correct.
that.
Right. So because everything once again that you see around you, they take knowledge in, they take knowledge in, they take the knowledge in, they take the knowledge and the energy that goes with it. That's the technology that they're showing you around you that comes from this divine Earth suit, as I call it, or Life University Earth Campus. You're in the Life University, you check into Earth Campus to learn. So this is the uniform Mother Nature has sewn for you while you're on campus. So if you go to a different campus, you got to get a different uniform. But while you're in it, you can then what? Experience and experience, because the uniform also comes with a million years of information, millions of years through the DNA, through the ancestral bloodline that you check into to have an experience. You didn't just come on campus. You literally came to a line of people for a unique experience. And in the DNA itself is already historical information that you can tap into. So that's a whole nother class for people to understand, where I talk about understanding. I've been teaching people about word like multiverse for 30 plus years. And they're like, what? I said, at nighttime when you're dreaming, sometimes you're dreaming inside your DNA. I can go tonight, meet my 52nd grandmother on my mother's side in my DNA and sit down and have a conversation with her at a park. And then come back tomorrow in the morning, wake up from that experience. And they'll say, what did you dream? Yeah, I sat down with my grandmother. It was like grew up in the yard, having a conversation. She taught me some things, showed me what I need to do, and I can bring that information back. So sometimes you're not dreaming outside of you, you're dreaming inside of you, because all of that experience is recorded in your DNA, all of it. Everyone that's ever lived in your entire bloodline is in your DNA right now. I don't have to go outside my own family tree to go look for anything. Anything I can imagine has already been done by one of my ancestors. They don't teach you
Yeah,
to tap
that's
into that.
absolutely true. They don't teach you that, but they don't even teach you that your own soul has a journey of experience of other lives that you could tap into
That's right.
your soul experiences. As a matter of fact,
Correct.
you could tap into other realms, not even ancestors. You could go above that and tap into higher frequency beings from different densities, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 densities that have
Yes.
the wisdom and the knowledge. As a matter of fact, your own subconscious mind already know all things and everything. There's nothing that you, your spirit self,
That's
do
right.
not know.
Yes, but that's because they're you. I am Allah. There's no separation. You exist on every
Exactly.
level.
And you're also your grandmother and your grandfather too. That's all you,
Right.
all having
Which
different
is
experiences,
why.
all reflection of the self.
Right. That's
Absolutely.
right.
So you're
You're
basically
already
talking
all
to
of it exists.
yourself. It's funny, you're basically talking to yourself right now.
Yes, right. I see you in me. That's actually one of
Exactly.
my shirts. That's one of my phrases, one of my gear is I see you in me. The I in you and the you in me. That's the one. That's the principle of the
We are
one.
one. There is no separation.
So the ancestors called it the all. One of the most ancient names is all,
Exactly.
and then out of the all came the Almighty, the all-knowing, the all-present, the all,
I am.
the great I, as they say, I am, or we. There's a tribe that used to call everything we, because they didn't really see individuality. So they say, who are you?
Exactly.
We. It's kind of
So
like
that is
Borg.
that is what they're preventing people from waking up to. Like, people don't understand that their own body is a technology, and everything that they do outside of themselves, they could already do that within their own body. They don't need cell phone, because cell phone, even computers are made from the human brain. Everything is
Well,
already within us.
we can prove that when we already have what I used to call the God net or the G net, or the universal net or multiversal net. I call it all net now, and I kind of change it as the year goes on because people use words differently. So the all net, for example, if you're standing in line, I ask people this simple question. You're standing somewhere in a store or a line, and you could just tell someone's watching you from across the room. You could just almost feel them looking at you, and you turn around and there they are. They're staring at you 20 feet away, however. And I asked them, how
That's
did you know
energy.
that?
That's
How did you
energy.
know? Which part of you knew that there was already somebody staring at you over there? That's because you are already over there. Your energy field and their energy field is actually interacting. So before your physical eyeballs saw them, your energy field already
Felt
made
it.
you aware that someone else's energy field is interacting with you. And that's how you know that you already are part of a network where you can communicate with someone already. And I've proven it throughout my life. Many people have proven it. For example, my mom and I, and my daughters and several of my friends, if I think about her, I'm thinking of calling her. This happens all the time, well over 100 times. I'll pick up the phone to call her, or I'll think about her and the phone will ring and it'll be her, or vice versa. I'm calling her and she already has the phone in her hand about to call me, or she thinks about me and then whatever. And it's not just her, with other people I have similar connections. And that's proven to you that there's already a network that you're communicating through without any cell phones needed, without any other devices that's man-made. And that our ancestors already knew that. They were more in tune, as a matter of fact, to that before they had these other devices, because they sat quietly and they were able to communicate. I've been doing this all my life. I've intuited information from the Akashic record, from within me, from the earth, whatever you want to call it, the higher realms, the multiple dimensions. And some things I know, I never read in any book. I just knew it. And they're like, later on, I would show different people examples of it to kind of help them along their journey, because some people had a hard time swallowing the fact that, how do you just know that? You're not supposed to know that. You're too young to know that. I'm talking from as young as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. I'm explaining things that even many adults around me didn't know. And they're like, how do you know that? You've only been here for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. I said, well, what do you mean? I intuited it. It just came to me. I left my body and I went and found it and brought it back. So this is why I was called crazy as a child. All my life I've been called crazy. I traveled to the inner earth. I remember one time I was in school in Westmoreland, and they showed a cross section of the planet with the crust and the core and everything. And then I put up my hand and told the teacher, that's not the way it looks inside the earth. And she's like, what do you mean? She said, did you do yesterday's homework? I said, yeah. I saw the picture in the textbook, but it doesn't look like that. She's like, how do you know that? I said, I've been to the center of the earth. I've met the entities in the earth. That's not how it looks. And they told me I was crazy and I should stick to the textbook. I've been astral projecting and traveling throughout the earth and meeting all kinds of entities and all that. But you can't tell the average person that's stuck in a curriculum or a can make you dumb. I call it can make you dumb. And if you follow it real good, they can make you dumb. It's designed to make you dumb. It's not a curriculum. I had to learn to go to school and not come out a fool. Most people go to school, they come out a fool. They kill your creativity. They kill your child, the inner child. And you come out just a robot, nicely programmed, following what it says on it, follow what it says in the book, follow what it says on the screen. Don't deviate from the script. So I had to learn to navigate this world, still let that inner child free, how to read things in the school. I was blessed to have teachers that said, hey, this is what you're going to put on the test because this is what they're going to ask you. But here's another bunch of information you need to know. So I always had 2 sets of books that you need to learn for the test and a whole bunch of other books for life and what you really need to know. I always had a library. I always had 2 library cards. I told you I'm a phonetic spirit. I was meditating one day and I said, where are the lies buried? And they said, in the library. So I always go to the library to dig up where the lies are buried. Everything's hidden right in front of your face. Words
So
are powerful.
absolutely, but that's what they do. It's word magic. This is dark magic. That's what they're doing. It's
Yes,
dark
it's called
magic.
spelling. That's why it's called
Exactly.
spelling.
So that's what they do, what they do. But what you're doing is great because for anyone to even come to the understanding or to even be open to receive this information, they have to be cleansed out or
Oh, yeah.
deprogrammed to receive new
Oh, yeah.
information. You cannot give new information without releasing some of the programs and the beliefs that we have, because our beliefs is what create our reality. So this is why
That's
I
right.
kind of brought quantum healing, because a lot of people in our community, they are scared of like, oh my God, you're gonna control me if you put me in a hypnotic trance. No, a hypnotic trance is going into a deep meditative state. It's putting your brain inserting a frequency into a brain wave where your ego steps aside and you'll be able to tap into the conscious mind and have a conversation with the subconscious mind. That is where the healing
That's right.
takes place. That is where the energy within you could heal you. Is by tapping into that
That's right.
energy within your being already. And that is why
Right.
I'm also speak about psychedelics, because psychedelics, which is made from plant and fungi is older than plants. It's been on the planet forever from the very beginning. So the fungi has all of these knowledge already that could teach you and show you, even help you to wake up to who you truly are. And that's what happened with me. So
Yes, well, congratulations. There's many, how do we say, many rivers to cross, and meet me at the crossroads. I don't know if you're familiar with a group used to be called Bones, Thugs, and Harmony. They had a
yeah, I
video.
am.
They had a video where people in white went up this mountain from 4 different sides and they met at the top of the mountain. And so that's symbolic of, depends on your tribe, the energy, the purpose you came. You have different ways of awakening and reaching the top of your mountain. That's the mountain represents you. It represents, we're a pyramid in the making. We're Solar Man's temple. Solar Man is the wisest man. Those are all keys for those who can decipher them. So I'm a phonetic spirit. My job is to decipher things, put it back in its right phonics. There's a book called a Kiba. They call it the Kibalion, but it's the
Okay.
Kibalion.
Well, I'm a teacher. I think I'm here to teach, to bring back old knowledge.
That's right. And what we first learn, we're student teachers, because you first learn it yourself to unlock you, and whatever you use to unlock you, you can impart on somebody else. Because
Absolutely. And
you've
that's
already learned how to
exactly
use it.
what I'm doing. I had to do and actually physically do these things myself, because you do have a lot of fake people out there, a lot of fake conscious people out there that are not very
Well,
authentic, and they're not really teaching the truth. They're not really
right.
giving up the secrets of knowing thyself. That's what you have to do, is just know yourself, and you will
And
know
know
all
what
things.
self means. And know what the word self means, because we used to spell it with CELLF.
Know
Starts at
yourself.
the cellular level.
Exactly.
Self. Self is CELLF, how I spell it. I'm phonetic spirit. We're going to know yourself by knowing yourselves. You see, instead of thinking it's external lies, internal eyes, third eyes, realize, recognize, realize. So use real
One
eyes
thing
and
that I
recognize, realize.
wanted to say is, like, a lot of us don't have the access to certain things or certain food. And a lot of foods that we're eating are highly sprayed with a lot of chemicals and pesticide and herbicide and fungicide and all kind of stuff. And one thing that I've learned on my journey is that you could pray over your food and send it love and light intention, and you could change the chemistry of your food, as well as you could do that with your own water too, before you drink it.
Yes, to a certain level, correct. But however, there's certain, how do you say, there's certain high level chemicals and parasites they're putting in the food now. You're going to need to do serious energy cleansing. So you can use magnetism, you can use magnetic fields, you could use diode pads. There are certain diode pads that you put on the back of your cell phone and your laptop. There's large ones that's the size of a cutting board that you can get and rest the food on it for a certain time frame. If you think it's been tampered with in any way, energetically or spiritually, to ground that energy out. So there's different technology that's out here, similar to how you ground your body out, that you should go barefoot on the ground. You can ground out the food as well. So Also, connect with like-minded people in your neighborhood. Start a food co-op. Find pieces of land where you can grow food together. And so even in the cities, this is happening in the cities now. People are finding blank, unused lots in the Bronx, Brooklyn, wherever, and approaching the city with their organization, taking those lots over and start growing food. So that way you have like-minded individuals, create your own co-op, your own farmer's market. Even if you're in an apartment, there's hydroponic ways of growing food in a tower, 25 vegetables in a corner, or on a patio space, or anywhere that's lit that allows light to come in. When I lived in an apartment in Orlando, Florida, I had 14 pots on my patio. I had a screen patio, and I grew all kinds of stuff out there. People were like, what? I was like, in an apartment, I'm growing my own tomatoes, I'm growing all kinds of herbs, I'm growing aloe, I'm growing peppers, small bell peppers, all kinds of basil, thyme, mint, arugula. I had 14 pots ringing the perimeter of the patio. And then I put some hooks in the ceiling, like bicycle hooks where you hang up bicycles, and you can hang some more pots, vertical pots with vines that hang down. You can grow enough food to feed a family of 4 just in an 8x8 patio space. That's it. You don't even need to have a garden. You can just do them in pots, get 18, 20-inch pots from Home Depot or the garden center or wherever, and just get the dirt in there and start growing your own stuff right there. You don't have to have backyard. You could be on a 15th floor of an apartment building growing your food. Everything is possible. Just get out the box and see the possibility. So this is the different ways we show people. It doesn't matter where you are. You can start growing things where you are. You can sprout certain things if you're raw to get live plants and sprouts. Just know you can do it. Reach out to the people that's already doing it. We're all here helping each other. Each one teach one. And this is how we're going to reach the oneness. So the solutions are here. I'm just here to do my little part through Third Eye Visions Unlimited, through Phonetic Spirit and Love Onc, to help those. I've helped a lot of women in particular, and couples and men. That seems to be one of the niche areas that for some reason my vibratory energy dealt with. So I was able to help over 100 couples get pregnant. I deal with fibroids, cysts, tumors, miscarriage, prostate issues, all kinds. I'm a mid-husband. I delivered my own baby at home. I'm not scared about any of that stuff. I grew up on a farm. We grew up in the hills. I've seen all kinds of stuff give birth before I was 8. So I'm a balanced male. I can deal with all the issues in the tissues. So that's what I've been able to have, like a niche. I can help you create a birth plan. I help you find doulas, midwives. My daughter is going to be 13, the eldest one in the picture. And I had to serve him a 14-inch document back in 2011 in Orlando. And her mom decided to go into the hospice tall hospice, which you have no business in giving birth, because they got a crematory downstairs where they deal with the dead. They got a morgue in the building. You're not supposed to spiritually give birth over a morgue. So if a morgue's in the basement, you don't have no business giving birth in the building. They know that. That's why they want you in there, so you can be possessed from birth with certain kinds of energy. You take home a Chucky. So I had to spiritually go in there and cleanse the space, anoint the oils and everything, and light incense and everything, and do my spiritual work. So when she shows up, she's protected.
Absolutely.
See, breastfeeding
People
is
don't
not just about.
understand I'm sorry. People don't understand how serious it is to cleanse the space and purify the energy in a room.
Correct. We offer that as a service. I teach people how to do spiritual cleansing, what they call feng shui in the Orient, and how to orient things also in alignment with North Star, Polaris, different kinds of how to align even the furniture in your house. Sometimes people will have blocked energy because their house is actually laid out wrong. Their house is totally wrong. They got the bed in the wrong place. They got the couch and everything. They don't actually understand divine symmetry, which is why I showed the pictures earlier. In nature, everything is divinely positioned where it needs to be. Symmetry is very important. Alignment is important. This is where they teach you to misunderstand masonry. They quote unquote, all your science that you bring into the world has been co-opted, and they teach you to hate the very stuff you should be studying. So ley lines, deacons, and sextons is how you navigate the planet, how you navigate the world. And now they have you corrupted the ley lines with lay people, lay workers, lay men, lay women. They corrupting the deacons and the pastors which are actually geometrical lines and angles. Now, when you hear that word, you think of somebody in a church building, a pastor and a deacon, not realizing that came from mathematics. That's a mathematical term. If you're a Mason, you understand that. You have a ley line, you have a deacon, and a deaconess, and a pastor. You see, you don't, these are, and then they talk about a sexton. So now they corrupt sex. You don't understand what that means and what intercourse and interstate mean. They got interstate system, which is intercourse. And they corrupt the words. So you start actually hating the things you should love and love the things you should hate. Okay. So I break all those words down for people. So we are the Ma sons. We're the son of Ma, or the son of Mu. Mother and child. Crescent, moon, and star. The crescent moon represents the mother, the womb. The dark side, the womb energy. The star represents the sun or the yang. The woman is the yin. Out of her womb comes the star, or what they call the Holy Grail, the Holy Chalice, Communion Sunday, menstrual blood. They're not teaching you about this stuff. The red wine they're drinking and eating of the flesh. They're doing the rituals right in front of your face, but you don't know.
Absolutely.
You don't know your place. You don't know your place, but they have movies telling you about that. They got a movie with forget the guy. I think it was Tom Cruise or not Tom, what's his name? Searching for the chalice, the angels and demons, whatever that guy is. They had a whole series where he was searching for the holy cup, the cup of Christ, the Holy Grail, the chalice.
You're looking for Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, there we go. Instead of Tom Cruise. I had the right face, the wrong last name. So
You
Tom
got
Hanks.
it. They all them same kind of people. You got it.
Right. But they use these characters, these caricatures, they use them in the Hollywood, as I call it. It's called the Hollywood. So they use them in the Hollywood because the Hollywood is back to the Trojan horse. So they use a Hollywood to infiltrate you and infiltrate your home. That's how they got the Trojan horse. Is they hollowed out the wood and put the people that would attack you inside the wood, and then you brought the wood inside your house. The original television was a wooden device. And they've been jumping out of that device and attacking you in your home since then. So that's the Trojan horse story. So out of the hollow wood, that's the name of the place up there where they deal with the holly tree in the hollow wood, California. But they're telling you without telling you. And they use people like that. The names of some of these actors are not their birth names. That's another people don't know. Sometimes they change their names to suit whatever sigil they want to use them for, because words are spells. So if they want to bend, so to bend and smith, when you heat and shape and mold something, it's called smithing it. So if they want to heat and shape and mold and bend your will, they use a guy named Will Smith. When the brutes want to will us, they use a guy named Bruce Willis. They want you to die again, die harder, die and come back and die again. And then they keep using these people and all, and most people don't get it.
But that's the black magic that they're doing. That's the black magic. But understand that they are informing us. We're the one who's not seeing it because they cannot do anything without our consent. They are consenting, but no one is saying, I do not consent. So therefore, they already told you what they're doing, but you did not, you didn't object. So therefore, you consent.
Silence.
Yes, they're giving
silence
you
is acquiescence. Once you do not push back, that's it.
Go ahead. That was a good point. Miss Tisha, you were saying silence is acquiescence. Yes, but what happens is most people were miseducated from early and they're dealing with the trauma. So this is why you have to be out of the box in freedom in terms of thinking. You have to seek the information. So some people, you don't know what they don't know. They don't even know what they don't know. That's the greatest disservice to humanity, is to not even know what you don't know and not know that you need to seek it out. That's why there's a phrase that knock and it shall be opened unto you. Ask and it shall be answered. So
but isn't that why you have a soul? Because your soul guides you. That's why we have spirit guides. That's why we have ancestors. That's why we have higher beings. we do have guys, and sometimes we do not listen, or we are disconnected. Like I said, they really disconnect us from our higher self. So therefore, we don't even know when we're being guided or being spoken to, but we're always being guided. But what I learned is that even not everyone has chosen to be awake. So there are
Of
people
course.
who love the system and who wants the system. Not everyone wants. Yeah, so those people you can't really do anything about because they will kill you to maintain the system. So
Oh, yeah,
not
yes. I
not
mean, they talked
everyone.
about that in,
Go
we had a
ahead.
character that talked about that in the Matrix. He knew the steak was fake, but he liked the taste of the steak, so he wanted to go back. So he betrayed
Exactly. I
me.
love using him as
Wanted to
an
stay.
example. He knows the truth, but he chooses to live in the
Mhm.
illusion. There are people like
Right.
that. They live in the
And that's
illusion. They have
fine.
their money and the cars and they want to stay in the illusion. So do not even try to wake those people up because they
Right.
want to
Right.
stay within their illusion.
Right.
When they
They're
stay
making a
within the
choice.
illusion, they feed it. Remember when you looked at the Matrix, there was like a tower, the same cellular towers that you were just talking about. They are
Yes. Cell
connected and
towers.
they are being fed on to provide that power. So let them stay in the
Right.
illusion. We got our
That's
energy over
fine.
here. We woke up out of the pod, and who wants to hear? We let them hear.
Right. And remember now, everyone has their journey. So another thing I learned over the years is to honor everyone's journey. Meaning, if you only came this time around, maybe you're on the third trip, fifth trip in this dimension. Uh, some schools are taught so you get 9 trips in each realm to learn certain things. It's all an experience that feeds the soul journey. So if this time around, for example, someone was only supposed to get to a certain frequency and that's it. That's what they agreed to on this trip around. This is what they signed up for. That's fine. We honor that. And we don't try to quote unquote force anything on anyone. We just make the information available. I'm just a sign on the road of life. I point the way. I say, hey, New Jersey Turnpike this way. I can't grab the wheel and make you turn. I can only stand there and point New Jersey Turnpike this way. It's up to
Okay,
you
yeah,
to see the
that's
sign and make
true.
the turn.
But remember
So
too
that's
that
how
not
you honor that.
there's a lot of beings on the planet that have been stuck on the karmic wheel that have been coming back and back and back and back and back and back.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
the people, the ones who are coming in now that are teaching these knowledge or bringing their light to the planet. They weren't here before. They come in just to help to wake up the ones that already have been here for a very long time, to raise the vibration on the planet to more love and light, because we have been
Right.
living in the dark ages for a very long time. And the dark ages is basically the veil of not knowing that who we are, that we're separated from the creator to seek something outside of ourselves and worship something outside of ourselves. But that is what the church has been pushing, is that God is outside of ourselves and we should look outside of ourselves, not to go within, even though in Yahshua said in the Bible to sit still and you will know who you are,
I got a
basically.
question for you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
which
Aiyahna. Yeah, go ahead.
which church?
Which church that what?
Which church is asking you to be disconnected? Because I look at other religions and their gods look like them.
No, they're not asking you to be disconnected. They are reinforcing and teaching, giving information of
So I'm
disconnection. They teach
asking
you
you
to,
which church?
all church does
Because
that.
in
If you,
Buddhism, no ma'am,
no,
absolutely
no,
not.
no, listen, that's Buddhism is a spiritual way of living. It's not a religion. I'm talking about
Correct. It
religion.
it's a way of life. Okay.
I'm
But I
speaking
asked you
about
which
religion.
religion. No.
No, no, no. I'm speaking about religion. And when I speak about religion, I'm talking about the Catholic Church, the different segmentations of religion, including Jehovah's Witness. If you are reading the Bible and you practice what's in the Bible, what they put in the Bible is separation, that there's a God outside of yourself that you should worship, Jesus, Yahshua, not Jesus Christ, because that was not his name, Yahshua. Yahshua was a man just like any other man on this planet right now, he just was a higher vibrational being, came from the fourth density, which is of love and light. That's why he was able to bring that information about pure love. He was here to help us, to wake us up to who we truly are. And that is why they so-called crucify him. But Yeshua was a light bearer. He came to this planet to bring light and this sacred knowledge back to the human beings that are on this planet. And that is what they did not want him to talk about. If you read in the first part of the Bible now, that God that they're speaking of is a very warlike God. And I know the creator, and I know the creator is pure love. And that definitely ain't talking about the one infinite source in the Bible. That is not who they're talking about. So there's a lot of confusion that they put in the Bible, thinking that the Old Testament is God. No, they're not even talking about gods. They're talking about gods, which were other beings who came to this planet. And the beings on the planet thought they were God because they were able to use their mind, telepathy, move things. The technology that they brought was out of this world. So those people view them as gods and start worshiping them as God. So they kept the knowledge to themselves and did not tell the people, the humans here on the planet, who they are, that they already have God within themselves. And we are all one, and we could do anything that any other beings could do. They were just a higher vibrational beings from a different density. So the people that in the gods in the Old Testament that they worship are other beings from other planets, like the Anunnakis. There are other peoples that they're worshiping. They're not worshiping the one infinite creator. First of all, the one infinite creator never take on the form of man. He's not even a man. He's just pure consciousness, never had form. Yes, he's experiencing different aspect of himself as other beings from other planet, as a human being. The creator is experiencing themselves through these avatar, but the creator itself is pure energy. It's pure consciousness. So even if you read the Old Testament, the way that they're describing him is the aspect of a human being, not a God. So if you really pay attention to what the Bible is saying, you would know that they're not talking about that source, that all loving God. So they're talking about other entities. That's why they call them spirit beings. And a lot of the things that they're describing in the Bible are spaceships, chariots. You want to call them chariots, you could call them spaceships. But I
No,
digress.
I'm glad you kind of brought that up. I'll give you a brief story of how I got in trouble by asking certain questions and pointing out something. So they gave me this book to read when I was young. My mom said I read early. And I think by the time I was maybe one, or by two, I was already reading fluently. The King James version, the red letter version of what some of my family had. Some of them were Pentecostal Christians, as they would say. So they gave me this book, and I called it the Book of Instruction Before Leaving Earth. So when I saw an acronym in the front of it, BIBLE, Book of Instruction Before Leaving Earth. So I told them I'm an alien passing through, just going to be a quick stop for me. And they said I was crazy. So I started reading this book they gave me, and I also was going and learning what they call parts of speech. So I became dangerous after they taught me the different parts of speech, and I learned first person, second person, third person, and all these. So I had a red letter King James Bible. So when I realized that everything that you say I was spoken by me, I went through the Bible, and everything in red, they said it was spoken in first person. We had Bible study, I think, on Wednesday nights. We had a big map of the world and an atlas on an easel and everything. So I started reading everything in red, in first person. And they're like, you can't do that. I said, but you just told me in parts of speech that anything with I starts with me. So I'm going to read this in first person. And that drove them crazy because they couldn't understand why I was doing that. So everything in the red, it was me, because I was the one speaking. So I was able to decipher it real fast that way. I didn't have to go through all that. I said, this is me speaking right here. So when it says be still, and I said, when it says be still and know that I am God, Psalms 46:10, I'm done right there. See, first person.
Exactly.
You can't tell
They
me
will
this.
call you crazy though if you say like I am God. I'm
listen,
that.
they
It's
almost
like
threw me
what?
out of the building. They almost threw me out of